we're back. Now then, what were we doing? We came to the Twin Elms, we drank in every tavern in the land, and
Yes?
basically we're looking for Theos. Okay. These side quests I'm gonna start doing after we get to the point of no return.
Yes?
Since most of them I don't really care about, but yeah. We have tasks. Clear up on Raylag. The sewers. Le Aremen. Where's that exactly? Is that like here? No. Where's that? Maybe I don't have that area yet. Or maybe that's Stonewall Gorge? Yeah. The old missive is here. We need to go to the Celestial Sapling to some monks. Oh, you know what? Let me let me do this, because I'm gonna forget. I'm actually curious what this gives me. I'm sorry. Because I don't really care about the hammer much. Actually, maybe I do. We'll see what the hammer gives us. We'll see what the hammer gives us. We do have all of the parts of the Sword of the Endless Paths. I don't think it's going to be a really good one. It's probably going to be pretty average. Shit, I'm so dry. Probably shouldn't have eaten those breadsticks. Okay. I'm gonna survive. Okay. I found all of the pieces of the ancient sword. Do you think you can repair it? Aye. And it would be a privilege too. Not often do you get to lay eyes on such a fine craftsmanship. He runs his calloused fingers along the edge of one of the swords. This blade will take some time, but I'll guarantee it'll be worth the wait. Okay, at least I don't have to, like, wait. He beams. Finest work I've ever done, if I may say so. It's only a shame I can't take all the credit for it. Something else on your mind? Nope. So what is this? Blade of the Endless Paths. It's an S-stock, which is unique. It's superb. With plus 20% attack speed and accuracy granted to an ally. It's actually pretty decent. Having attack speed on it, I think is pretty good. Because I feel like 20% on a two-handed sword is going to be a lot more powerful compared to like a dagger. But the only person who uses two-handed weapons for us is Pelagina, who's already got two very good weapons on her. Bye-bye. Alas, sword, it was not meant to be. Okay. So are we gonna go to Migrant's Fork? For the other one. I guess we can do this quickly. I know it's like I'm stalling, but at least I'm gonna have it out of the way. Not gonna go for the bounties though, because bounties only give me experience points and gold, and I have a lot of that anyway already. So yeah. Magrin. What's this? A shackler. Whatever, we're not gonna sell anyone to slavers. Excuse me, who's this? This guy is a deaf godling. Godborn? Godlike.
Hmm?
A motley gathering stands at the crossroads. At first glance, the person at the head of a group seems more monster than man. Two large, curling horns emerge from the sides of his skull, forming a hardened carapace that is pocked like coral. Down its center, the strange shell splits, revealing the ash-grey skin of a man's face, obscured above the nose. The horns might seem a mere helmet, save that in several places you cannot tell where the flesh ends and the bone begins. From the neck down, however, this is all by appearances a human man, clad in fine armor of the same dark shade as his features. The man smiles, revealing long white teeth from which the gums have retracted. Despite his masked eyes, he looks unerringly in your direction. Hail, traveller, and well met. He turns to Pelagina, smiling all the wider. How now, pretty lady? Had I your patron, I'd be a dark bird still, but all the more handsome for it. Patron? That's one way of putting it. Delusional, but we all deal with it in our own way. He laughs quietly. Are you enjoying the fresh air? We, he gestures to the men and women behind him, are doing much the same. Oh, you seem very well armed for scholars. Ah, but we are not scriveneers or aspiring priests, but rather scholars of death. We're better to witness it than the road. He laughs. These paths are not very safe. For instance, I have heard tell that there are certain groups comprised of individuals, both skilled and handsome, who, depending upon the monetary fortunes of strangers, will unseam these poor devils from nose to nape, and thereby send them into the next life. I think our talk is done. Kill that one slow. I want to see the light leave them. Really, you gonna do me like this? Wait. Who killed him? I mean, that was super quick, but he just ran from here to here, and then basically almost instantaneously died. What? What? You're gonna spend some time in the dungeons. As you wish it, then. That's like the third person we could have put in the dungeon, and we did it. Let's see. Hello, Rayo. Hello. Thank you for the head pass. Thank you. So he stopped chanting. So we killed this mercenary. Maneha killed him, crit him for 27. Alof hit him for 7. Grieving Mother crit him for 16. So that's like what, 50 damage? It there did 50 damage to him. Okay, so that's 100. Another there for 30, so 130. Okay. Okay, so we did damage to him. It didn't look like we did, actually. The ash-covered shrine of Megrin stands before you, the scent of charred wood still lingering in the air. Oh, we place the hammer on the shrine. The temperature around you begins to rise, and before long you feel as if you're standing in front of an open forge. How are you doing, Rayo? I hope you're doing good. Maska's hammer begins to glow red hot. Suddenly the ground near the shrine erupts into columns of live fire. Flame lights. In the sky, winged shapes dive towards you, smoke trailing from their wide open jaws. So we're going to be fighting some drakes. Oh, doing well? Wonderful. Some drakes and flame lights. Okay. Wait. Oh, he took psychic backlash from Grieving Mother. Nice. The game you were playing was sus. You need bongs. I saw it. I did see it. You're very thirsty. Very thirsty indeed. You love your VTuber. Was that a VTuber? Are they British? Do we do the hammer? Did we get the hammer? But yes, I did see it. But is the game fun? Like, I was lurking most of the time, so I wasn't able to see too much. I don't think there's anything else we can do in Stalwart or in the White March. Let me just make sure. Devil of Karak. We don't care about the Devil of Karak quest, I think. I don't know if I should even. If you're not into reading a lot, then probably avoid it, because you struggled reading long text and proper sentences. But it's pretty fun. Okay. As long as it's fun, I think that's good. Because depending on the game, reading a lot can be nice or can be really annoying. For example, here I'm reading almost everything. But in a game like Skyrim, I'm never gonna read a book in Skyrim. At least not during a stream. Because there's a lot of books there. But that's not what the game is about. Even here, like, I'm reading only the quests like letters or quest journals, but not the lore ones, because those are long. Hey there. I hope you're not having any trouble with that ritual. Yeah, I actually completed it. Just in time too. I was supposed to be done with a sword yesterday. Okay, Magic Hammer, do your thing. She raises the hammer and prepares to strike the unfinished sword. I'm just gonna watch it. Yeah, lore is long. Maska swings the hammer down hard, and both blade and anvil ring with the force of a blow. The blade's metal ripples like liquid as it shapes itself into a proper sword. Maska grins and nods at you, but the ringing continues, becoming more and more shrill, and just as the sound becomes unbearable, the sword shatters, scattering metal shards across the room. Dalfer's ritual. I haven't seen anyone try to use it in some time. He glances at you. You had help, of course, but it doesn't change the fact that you weren't the instigator, Maska. Is there any reason I shouldn't immediately cast you out of the temple? No, Master. Maska's eyes are fixed on the floor. What about you? Engrim turns to you. You made yourself a part of this. Is there anything you wish to say in Maska's defense? Well, all errors should be reforged into lessons. One of Abaddon's affirmations, if I'm not mistaken, a valuable lesson for Maska. Wouldn't you agree? Would that more of my acolytes actually read the book? Engrim smiles. Maska, this stranger has preserved your position within this temple. See that his efforts were not in vain. I won't. Thank you, Master Engrim. Maska gives you a little smile. And thank you for getting me a second chance. Here, a gift for you. One of the very first things I forged. Now I need to get back to work. I still got a lot to learn. The unlabored blade. Why would you give me a sword if you're not a... Wait a second. I think I know what this is. I know what this is. Oh, this is such a BS weapon. I remember this. I'm gonna give this to Adair. Because if I'm correct, what this is, with every upgrade, this weapon is going to become weaker and weaker. But the last one is going to make it stronger, I think. Simple might be as specific as one can be when describing this dagger. Its handle is leather wrapped and plain. Its blade is bronze. It has no markings, no filigree, no gems or fancy metalwork. It appears well made, but it's so unremarkable that it's a challenge to judge. There is a sense in holding it that there must be something more there, if only because it's difficult to believe any craftsman would take so little pride in his work. You had to take your leave earlier now. I'll have to wake up and head to work earlier tomorrow. Okay, I do hope you have a very, very nice sleep. Good night. I'm gonna bind this to Adair. Let's see. Deal 100 slash damage to enemies with this weapon to unlock the next level. You bunked the table leg. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Rayo. Oh no. I didn't mean to. It's worth it. Okay. I'm glad. Is this weapon actually better than what he had? It's a little bit worse. Well, this is a really good weapon. But we're gonna use this. I'm hoping that I'm right, and this doesn't just become very bad. Though I'm a little bit afraid that it's gonna become like super weak by the time we finish. We'll see, we'll see. The crossed eye was complete. What's this? Good night, Rayo. It took extensive searching and inquiry across 3 countries, but Heravius eventually picked up the trail of the sullen Adraban Eye. Following the Broken Stone War, the Omoa thief travelled to Abet, then on to Nasitak. Among the boreal dwarves, the thief found a wealthy buyer, the chief of a prosperous tribe. A generation later, the tribe fell on hard times and was raided both by Deadfire Archipelago pirates and Pale Elves from the White That Wins. The Pale Elves sold the stolen eyes to merchants from Old Valia, who took it north to the Prince of Darkozi. It remained there for 2 generations. When the Darkozi Palace was sacked, one of the invading soldiers took the eye as a prize, carrying it across the sea to Ozia in the Valian republics. It was still there when Heravius arrived, though the wealthy patriarch who owned the eye demanded a hefty sum. The Glenfaven and Anamfata did not hesitate to pay the price. Okay. And we get a crossed patch. Minus 2 accuracy. Immunity to blinded, but plus 10% damage to flank targets. This is a very nice trade-off. This is a very nice eye patch. The plus 10% damage is nice. The plus for might here, though, is also really nice. Now, question is, do we have like a... Because 4 points of strength is going to be what? 12% damage. If we have a belt... If we have a belt that gives might, like this one, he would only lose a little bit. He would only lose a little bit. We could give him the dagger. The accuracy would only be a little bit lower, but I do think it would be worth it. Though I'm slightly afraid that the dagger is actually going to be very crappy. Okay, let's go to Kenua. Get that eye patch for Ether. I know we're kind of stalling and I was supposed to start the quest, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine because we do wanna... We kind of do want to have a flank target's damage bonus. And hey, maybe we get something extremely good out of this. We shall see. Oh, okay. It was kind of weird that the game decided to cut off the sound there.
Hail and well met.
This guy doesn't really have anything useful. He's just here to buy stuff. So we're actually just gonna do this high to low. The disappointer. This is like worse. This is so much worse. Terrible. This is so much worse than a regular weapon. Why would anyone use this? Like, I wonder if there's anything interesting about it. It's not even a weapon that you can... It's not even a weapon that you can go and... upgrade. Like, it's not a soul-bound weapon. Huh. And hey, he looks kind of cool with the eye patch. The -2 accuracy sucks, but everything else about it is pretty okay. Okay. Finally, we can do this. First of all, we want to go to the Celestial Sapling, because we have a quest to give the missive to some monks there. So we do this first. Hello, who's this? She'll pay, that witch. She'll... Fuming with anger and pacing in tiny circles, the Vadian merchant aims his wild rant at you as you approach. You there. Have you come here to trade with the savages? Learn from my example and take your business elsewhere. Spitwack senses every sentence. Liars! Cheats! Swindlers! That duplicitous bitch, Alari, she claimed to be selling Elward Gola flower pods, but all I have now is 6 bushels of common houseplants. The herbs are useless. He throws a handful of dried plants to the ground, stomping on the brittle stems and leaves, kicking up pungent, savory scents. I'll get my money back from that swindling savage. What did she say when you confronted her? Nothing of substance, he quickly mutters. Oh, he mutters, so he wanted to swindle her. She defended herself, of course, saying the herbs were legitimate. Why wouldn't she lie? No one will value my word over hers. He spits on the ground. Alari can lie with impunity when surrounded by gangs of savage thugs. What is Elard Gola? Renatus' rage abates for a moment, and his face twists into a nervous smile. Elard Gola is a plant that grows in the jungles of Eglanthat. He clears his throat, lowering his voice. When dried and consumed or brewed into tea, it's known to enhance one's drive for the better pleasures in life. Oh, it's a Viagra. And you tested the remedy on yourself. Well, Renato fidgets in place, his hands smoothing the creases of his tunic. How can I sell a remedy I have not tested? Of course I tried the herb. Imagine what would have happened if I peddled this pale imitation. Clears his throat. His voice grows quiet. The herb did not have its intended effect. The only thing it made hard was not vomiting. Maybe you didn't prepare it right. Okay, what do you sell? Looks away and scratches his neck and shifts his feet. I'm destitute and have but a few meager offerings left to sell. How dreadfully embarrassing. If I can recover my investment from Alari, I'll have funds to resupply my stores. Until then, you're welcome to take a look at what I still have in stock. Just some herbs. I don't care then. Okay,
Greetings.
what you gonna do about this? When I get my hands on... Renato halts his sentence, his eyes darting about the nearby Glenfathan guards. I'm in the savage's home court, so it's my word against hers. Where does that leave me? I'd be a fool to threaten her here, on tribal soil. He sighs, pressing on his temples. I cannot sell this worthless herb to recover my coin, and I'm powerless to confront Alari. I don't suppose... He looks you up, sizing you up. If you were willing to mediate, perhaps you could succeed where I failed. I would, of course, pay you handsomely for your trouble. Okay. We need to go to the market. Okay, okay. I think he just didn't prepare them right. Or maybe he's not really working that well. Who's this?
Well met, friend.
Gwyneth. A slender woman in dusty leathers locks eyes with you. It's good to see someone from more civilized lands around here. Her unkempt hair sprouts in wavy black tufts. Despite the fine features that sculpt her face, a cleft chin completes her boyish appearance. I'm learning firsthand the many shortcomings of Glenfarren hospitality. Her gloved hands come to rest on the pommel of a long istock, cinched low on her hip. I can almost forgive the hostility towards outsiders, but the temperate taverns and these watered-down drinks, inexcusable. I hope I don't seem too forward, but I need to help my friends, and you look like the right person for the job. A sly smile carves a dimple on her cheek, which is to say you're not Glenfarren, making you the closest thing I've got to an ally in this paranoid land. She gives you a coquettish sideways glance. And allies, well, they help each other, do they not? What do you need help with? My friends have drawn some unwanted attention. She looks to both sides, scanning for uninvited listeners. Glenfarren scouts, and not just any mob of local zealots, the Fangs. She pauses to let the name settle in the air. The Fangs are a brutal, relentless bunch, eager to make an example of troublesome outsiders. As for why I need your help, I need someone to warn the expedition that trouble is coming, and I need someone ready to fight, if it comes to that. She taps her hands on the pommel of a stock. With any luck, we'll reach my friends before the Fangs do, but if not, the Fangs have a reputation to uphold, so this might require spilling blood. So why aren't you with the rest of your friends then? It was my turn to handle fire patrol. I spotted the Fangs on my trek back to camp. I know that rejoining the main group would risk leading the enemy right back to the expedition. I know the woods and I know how to stay quiet, but I didn't want to stake my friends' lives and my ability to sneak past expert hunters like the Fangs. If they noticed me warning my friends, we'd have been overrun. She tilts her head to the side and points to you with a grin. But if they notice me and some reinforcements like, say, you, well, at least we can scare them off or put up a good fight. Okay. What do your friends do to draw the attention of the Fangs? Just setting foot in their Glenfarren is a good way to offend the tribes. I don't know how they picked up our trail. I suspect one of our newer scouts didn't cover his tracks well enough. When I spotted the Fangs, they were retracing a path the expedition had taken days before. Okay, tell me about the expedition. I like to think we're on a mission of reclamation. She darts a shrewd smile. It's said that our armies left behind many valuables in their hasty retreat from Glenfarren and the end of the War of Black Trees. So the way I see it, we're simply gathering up what our ancestors left behind. I doubt the Glenfarrens agree with me on this, she adds with a dimpled grin. My expedition set out from Defiance Bay, heading directly east to cross into Glenfarren lands. I split off once we arrived at the Vale, the natural frontier between our nations. The plan was for me to keep my eyes on the Glenfarrens while the main group scoured the target area. For days we eluded them. She walks her fingers over the back of her leather glove, leaving a trail in its dusty surface. But the Fangs go wise to our presence. Well, your friends are trespassing. By local custom, they're criminals. She frowns and blinks at you several times. You'll forgive me if I'm not sympathetic with the face painters and the barbaric laws. I'm not pretending that what we are doing is noble. I just don't believe trespassing is a crime that warrants execution. Okay, I can help you warn the expedition. But if there's a fight, I'm going to help the Glenfarrens in this case. Excellent. I knew I could count on you. Assuming the Fangs didn't already get them, my friends should be at or around the Pilgrim's Trail in the Northweld. The plan was to camp along a trail leading to the temple of Hylia. Find my comrades, warn them the Fangs are coming, and help them clear out the forest. I'll head out first on my own to see if I can lead the Fangs astray and buy some time. She pulls out a stock a few inches out of its scabbard and cracks a smile. If the gods smile on us, we won't have to draw steel. Should it come to that, I'm glad you're on our side. Okay. No. And this is stealing, yeah? Maybe the monks are here. Yep, there they are. Hello, hi, monk.
Well met, friend.
The monk massages his temples, his face buried in his poem. As you approach, he looks up. This room needs a proper door, he mutters. My brothers and I rented this space, that we may have some measure of privacy in this foreign land. Perhaps you could find another room here in the inn. Hello, Needy. Hello, Broken Brain. I see you are looking very respectfully, Needy. I love the emote. I love it. It's great. So respectfully. Very, very respectfully. Yeah, I met another one of you, monks. He died of his wounds right after I found him. Right in your ear, yep. That's the Redeem. Almost. The Redeem is a little bit different. The monk's eyes widen, his fists curl in a crackling barrage of popping joints. Robes like ours, you say? Was he carrying anything? Did he tell you anything? Hand you anything? Please, we've been waiting for another of our order to meet us here, and if you found him... Get out of your head. Okay, I'm shutting up.
Show him the message.
Yeah, he gave me this missive. Hand me that, the monk exclaims as he snatches the missive from your grasp. Almost immediately, his face turns red. I mean, please, this is of great importance. Yeah, I love your emotes, Needy. I really love them. There's somewhere else I could be. I wonder. Wait, did I? Okay, fine. Breaking the seals, the monk unrolls the handwritten scroll contained within, and quickly reads the message, his lips breathlessly mouthing the text. He turns to address his brothers. My brethren, the Arch-Martyr has sent word. At long last, we now have what we need. Thank you, stranger. I can't help, because recently Resident Evil 4 Remake came out, and it's like, thank you, stranger. That's the only thing that came to mind, like, thank you, stranger. Your honest soul is to be applauded. I admit I was surprised when you handed me the message. I expected the seals to be broken. I'm glad to see common decency and is not yet lost from this world. Yeah, your honesty must be rewarded. Thank you. Grand adventure added. Oh. Expires in one day. Why? Oh, I see. So it's like a generic kind of adventure. I get one major item and some gold. I mean some copper. Let's have Zahua go on an adventure. I don't think this is gonna like return any unique items. Just a regular magic item. It's good. It's fine.
Good day, stranger.
Elitarian Haggard shoes. A middle-aged elven man stands behind the counter of the inn. He has a warm, open face and smiles pleasantly in greeting as you approach. You'd like to report a problem with the stream? Okay. There's no good girl, good boy redeem. Just for you, needy. Good girl. Okay. Clipping that for personal reason, for later use, huh? I'm always glad to see a new face. Take a seat where you like, my friends. It seems to me you've walked a long road. All are welcome here, and those with interesting stories most of all. Let's see. I don't think he's got anything. Let's just see what they have to sell. Spirit Spiral. More melee damage. Whispers of Treason. Eh. Glenfathen home. Can't go to the Elms Ridge district yet. Your job is done. Okay. It will. Oh, we need a key for this. That's curious. That's the marketplace. Let's go to the marketplace then. Let us go to the marketplace. No, this is just a huntress. Okay. Let's see. Child. Tamra. Actually, let's look at them.
Hail, Estramor.
This tall woman is clad in furred hides. She settles a sharp, dark-eyed gaze on you. I hold here the best hides in their Glanfath. Hides so thick the Stelgar cannot claw through. Boots so supple they will smother the sound of your steps. What's your trade? I bear it on my skin. I sell hides from every one of Gallowayne's beasts. Estramorn come from every village to see them, and know us for great hunters. Every hide bears the tale of a great hunt, and our traders bear them in turn to every corner of our lands. Okay, do you have something nice? No, she's got like, she has an exceptional hide armor, but by this point we didn't really care about it. What about you?
Hail, Estramor.
This thick-framed woman smiles broadly as you approach. Ah, I see you've heard it. A good blade has a voice, and it sings to its wielder. What weapon called you forward? Tell me about your craft. My weapons speak for themselves, and every man and woman in this market knows my worth. Even that Tamra. I bear the knowledge my father held, and his mother before him. Take up one of my blades, and you hold a weapon 5 generations under making. Dern snorts. They say I should not waste such fine weapons on Estramorn. I say a good weapon lying on the rack is the true waste.
Estramor.
Okay, she does have some unique weapons, but I'm not going to be using them, I think. Like, this is a really nice bonus. More accuracy when attacking the same target, but also 25% more damage. Oh, no. Raises to hits. Exceptional, can stun. Oh, and on a critical you cast a magic spell. That's actually pretty nice. And strong hard. It's okay. Resolve on... Helmet of Darksea. Plus 2 perception. I love that it's just 2 lenses glued to it. Mastered. He probably sells
Hail,
food.
Estremor.
Some food for travels. For your travels, I hold here many delicious cheeses and fresh fruit. Tell me about your trade. My life is simple and makes a poor tale. I tend the gardens in my herd, and my family picks this delicious fruit from this delicious fruit you see behind me. The gods have been kind. Okay. Sells cocoa. I can buy one. Wait, we got a message? Oh, that was probably a task. Mm-hmm. Where has she gone? Oi! A young girl looks about the market with a disinterested gaze. As we near, she snaps to attention and straightens her posture. Welcome, Estremor, she says with a curtsy. Alari is not here, so I'm running the shop while she's away. She glides her hands in front of the display cases and of poultices and remedies. For looking for herbs, tinctures, oils, or ointments, then I've got everything you've ever need. Okay, what do you sell? I actually want to see what she sells. It's another drug. Yeah, I'm looking for Larry. Where can I find her? She lives not far from here. The little girl points at the exit out of the market. Climb up the stairs at the top. There's a circle of ruins. Do you know it? It's on the north side of Hearthstone. Anyway, her house is right there. The door faces those ruins. Okay, bye-bye. What do you have?
Builder's wisdom to you.
Oh, he probably sells traps and stuff. No, guns and arbalists. Traps too. What's this? Some fireballs. That's fine. Now let's go talk to her. This is probably gonna be just a little bit of a talk. Probably this one of it too. I mean, there's only 2 houses here, yeah? I still didn't trust the merchant though. He bought Viagra and it didn't work for him. And now he wants me to kill her? An old elven woman stands tall and proud, surrounded by Glanthavan warriors that study your every move. You speak on Renato's behalf, I presume. I know he would convince someone to do his bidding. I did not suspect it would be the Estremor involved in all the chaos at Defiance Bay. She tilts her head to the side and blinks slowly. Does the presence of my armed entourage concern you? You were expecting a defenseless shopkeeper, am I right? She raises her dye-stained hand just as one of her guards begins to lurch forward. Stillness! She barks at her attendant. Give the Estremor a chance to speak. We are not the wooden beasts here. Hospitality reigns. Alari nods to you, holding up an open hand, her palm and fingers covered in blue and green dye. envoy of Avalion, speak the message you were sent to deliver. Actually, I want to hear your side of the story first. The first step of any sensible path, she muses, scratching her chin. Renato did purchase from me several bushels of Elard Gola, and for it he paid a high price, but did so willingly, saying it was a bargain right as he handed me his copper. It was after our trade with the Valian that the Valian spit his venom. Alari's voice grows angry. Renato accused me of trickery, of fraud, claiming I delivered withered likenesses of Elard Gola, and not the genuine root. Such nerve, for in truth he is beyond the help of Elard Gola. She holds a blue-dyed finger in the air before curling it down slowly, smiling as she does. Renato's old bow isn't firm enough for a full draw. No amount of Elard Gola will give him the spear of a young hunter. A fair deal was made, and now Renato objects, angry that his withered family plough is beyond herbal remedies. She shakes her head, her voice becoming a growl. I have never sold anyone a remedy I know to be false. If Renato does not silence his slanderous tongue, we will do it for him. Okay, what kind of punishment do you have in mind for him? Renato has slandered his host, making him no longer a guest. The merchant must vanish from the Twin Elms. She crosses her arms under the sleeves of her robe. But Glenfarthing hospitality must be observed. Always. He is to be given a chance to leave on his feet before he bleeds on his back. Deliver in our name a warning. Tell Renato that if he does not leave, he will be accused of conspiring to pilfer Engwithian relics from our lands. He won't risk a trial by the Council of Anamfatha. Alari draws a small wooden cage from the folds of her robe. If he won't listen, tell him that his faulty member will end in a cage, just like this black beetle. Food for our birds. Well, we don't have enough positive. We don't have enough positive reputation with her. Well, let's do this. The reputation of your tribe is tied to your actions. Is that how you want your future trading partners to remember your kin? The Glenfarthans look at each other, faces alight with disagreement. A murmur of voices rises around the dwelling's heart until Alari, eyes shut tight, stomps on the ground with force. Enough! Stillness! She waits until her brethren's voices die down before opening her eyes. You speak with long-sighted judgment. Trade strengthens all of the tribes, and Renato's claim, false as it is, may spread to poison us. We will suffer the indignity of letting this liar profit if it means safeguarding the peaceful, honourable accord of Twin Elms. Alari pulls up one sleeve, revealing a leather bag hanging from her hands. The clinking of copper fills the room. Take this back to the Valian with the blessings of the Fisher Crane tribe.
Certainly.
Well, this is the most diplomatic option. I'm actually really happy that I put my points in lore. Because honestly, that's like the only skill that matters for you, for your character. Like, there's only two. Well, let me look. Stealth is nearly useless. It's basically useless. You don't use stealth, and only use it in a few like situations during like the book challenges. Sometimes it could be useful to hide a little bit before fighting, but that's only positioning, so you know, like, they don't attack you first. Athletics is nice because it gives you second wind, and it's useful in dialogue options. Many more times than the other stuff. Lore, like we just used here, it's useful for persuading people too. Resolve is useful as persuasion. Below 2. Mechanics? I don't think I've seen... Maybe I've seen it maybe once or twice used in dialogue options. In like those book challenges. But you can select which person uses them. So it doesn't make sense to put it on your main character. Same with disarming traps and locks. And survival... I also think it maybe was used once or twice. Hello, Cyrus. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing good today. Hydrate. Yes, I shall drink. I shall moisten my mouth. Thank you, Cyrus, and thank you for the headpats. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, the only 2 skills that I care for my main character, athletics and lore. I'm sussy. No, I ain't. I'm not sussy at all. Lindsay.
Estremor.
Love you too, Cyrus. Needy is still looking respectfully. Welcome to my home, Estremor. I'm Lindsay, healer and guide. What brings you here? Tell me about yourself. The locals have called me a wise woman in terms of respect. I'm sure, but it makes me feel my years. I'm an herbalist and a healer. I spend most of my time caring for the ill, helping with the delivery of children and making remedies for those in pain. Okay, I like a songbird. Does it have a name? Oh no, an ad just started. That's okay. Like, this is not a main quest kind of deal, so it's fine. Well, he does, she blushes, but I ought not to have let my friend's daughter name him. Their name is long and rather silly. The short version is Beaker. I want to know the full name. You're chilling until you gotta go to work because you couldn't sleep. I'm sorry, Cyrus. Oh, my keyboard doesn't work. Sorry. But yes. I guess we're gonna talk to Lindsay in a second. I guess we're gonna talk to her in a second when we maybe get a quest for her to do something. We are gonna have to go to the Passage of the Six. But for now, we go to this dude. I do hope that he's just gonna give us the herbs back so we can take them to the lady.
Well met, friend.
Renata smiles broadly. My friend, welcome back. Have you recovered my coin? Yes, I have the coin. Diverus. Moderate negative. Oh, that's not great. Welcome back from the ad, Cyrus. Welcome back from the ad hell. My thanks to you, friend. With find me at the Celestial Sapling. I'm sure I can find some choice items for resourceful customers like yourself. We got some bad reputation with them. It's your horny jail. Right now we're neutral here. I don't think we can go level 4 positive anymore. It's your punishment for being a down bad simp. I mean, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you never know when the horny strikes. Okay, let's see what he has. Yeah, this wasn't worth it. Like, the only thing that he added is some traps. Horny always strikes. Become one with the horny. I see. I see. Yeah, because we can go to the old song, and we can go to Alm's Reach. We're not allowed there yet. So let's go here. Let's go to the Longhouse. We could become one. Hmm. Oh, these are probably gonna be the 6 pillars of the 6 tribes. The 3 tusk style gear. Twice split arrows. The fisher crane. The stone bramble. The guided compass. And the keepers of a stone. Go, go, Power Rangers! Isn't there like a movie? Isn't there like a Power Rangers Power Rangers movie coming out like soon-ish?
Wait. I don't know if I should go through with this. Make the trade deal with the Anamenfath.
Amanenfath. Well, Pelagina, we should strive to make the fairest deal of them all.
If a Valiant deal with the Glanfathins weakens the Deerwood, it could mean war for the Republics in the future.
You'd be flabbergasted if they were making stuff for it. I think they are, because I've seen it on Twitter. I think it's like Power Rangers Now and Forever, or something like that. It's had so many different versions. No, I mean the Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, that one. Because there's millions of like space Power Rangers, dinosaur Power Rangers, like so many of them. Let it die. I mean, hey, Power Rangers was fun. I haven't watched like any uh, Super Sentai, yeah, any of those in a long time. But yeah, I wouldn't mind like checking it out. Obviously, it's gonna be pretty bad, the old ones, but let it die, let it die, let it shrivel up and die. Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching one.
I could put the idea in the Anamenfath's head that the Republics are not interested in exclusive trade, but limited trade of goods that they do not already trade with the Deerwoodens.
Let's see. Now, let's see. So we could be like super benevolent. We could tell her to follow her heart. I don't like the passionate options. I think we should go with the diplomatic route. I doubt the dukes will be forgiving. Consider your options carefully, and the ramifications could be great. Yeah. A troubled look crosses over her face. She's clearly conflicted, but nods weakly in acknowledgement. There's just so much of it. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's like it's just become a part of humanity. I mean, hey, It's culture. Power Rangers is culture. That sounds weird.
I'll see what I can find.
I love this song. It's so good. What's this? The dragon skull was brown with age and polished smooth. Okay.
Another Estromore. What do you want?
Well, I'm looking for someone who passed through the city.
Few Estromoran are given the freedom of our sacred city. That you ask for this person is suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
There are reasons we don't let you Estromoran roam our sacred city. Reasons I am coming to understand.
Turtles are actually pretty cool. Wait, turtles and tortoises. The land ones too. Like they can live so long, like 100 something years. That's extremely impressive. Well, I should say that we should probably want to work out an arrangement. Oh, she doesn't want to deal with me?
Looters have grown bolder at the sights of the builders. The people of Defiance Bay set fire to their own city. And every week, the 3 Tusk Stelgar bring news of more desperate settlers pushing at our borders, trying to escape their plague of Anolfane children.
Yeah, that's the thing. We want to stop the guy who's making those unorphaned children be born. Suddenly, you feel the presence of someone else in the hall. The Anamenfat continues to glare at you, but something has stepped out of her skin. It reaches out to you. It's illegal to own a tortoise here because they can outlive you. Oh wow, really? Huh, I wouldn't think that would be the case. But I guess that makes sense, since if you outlive, no, if you die before your pet, who's gonna take care of it? There should be some, like, legal requirements to have the pets be, that sucks, because if it gets sent to a zoo or anything like that, obviously it's not gonna be able to properly live there, since it hasn't been, like, with other animals so long. Yeah, they're not like normal pets, exactly.
Permitting more strangers the freedom of the city is out of the question right now. Go and be thankful that Anamfath Shimak doesn't sit in the passage of the Six today. He wouldn't
be as kind. Wait, what? I misclicked. Thorold. A vision of an Orland man appears near Bethel. He has the same green-brown fur and hazel eyes as she does. Help me reason with them, he points behind you. Turning, you see the ghostly shapes of 5 other Anamfada. Another Orland with tawny fur and a scarred face, a frowning dwarf, a black-furred Orland, and 2 elves. You worked at a reptile rehab place for a while and they would get donated them. I see. But yeah, it sucks that the only way, like, for them to live further is to be sent to a rehab place. And some of them can even live longer than 200 years. That's wild. That's so wild that I can live that long. Wait, who am I talking to right now? I'm talking to her, but I'm seeing all of this. But she's gonna be pissed at me because if I do this, because she would say that I'm, like, making fun of her or whatever. Let's see. You're the leader of the guided compass. I think between Perception 14 and Lore 10, Lore 10 is going to be more useful. Because Perception 10 is like barely more than normal. Perception 14, I mean. Yeah, she would think I'm delusional. Yeah, I forgot the word. Indeed, and it has earned us little respect from our peers. These are not times when thrust comes easily. The spectral Orlan takes another step from her, setting his foot down with a slow, heavy motion. Tendrils of essence strain between them, and he grimaces and leans forward, as if struggling against a gale. The angry Anna Menfath winces. War. The spectral Orlan's voice is a rasping croak. They're headed for war. Remind them of Ferald's warning. Does Ferald's warning mean anything to you? Ferald's soul image gasps. Taut threads of essence tug at him, drawing him back into the Anaminthat. He looks up at you again. I tried to tell them. The Builder's souls have touched even the Estremorn.
You'd better explain yourself.
The two attending tribesmen look from the Anaminthat to you, their swords hands ready. Oh no. This would suck, but if I think he's telling me stuff that only he would say, and I have no way of knowing unless what he said is true. So I should say that the Builder's souls have touched even the Estremorn.
There's no way you could have known this saying. Not unless you are a Galus on Anums, a watcher of souls.
Well, Ferald tried to warn the other tribes about something. What was it?
Ferald's warning came before the Broken Stone War. Ferald, my ancestor on my mother's side, was Anamfath of our tribe then. When the Estremoric farmers defiled the Builder's monuments, Ferald urged the other Anamfatha to patience, but louder, angrier voices prevailed.
Uh-huh.
Ferald believed that the invaders could be taught to respect the Builders as we do. He also believed the Builders' souls had spread to all peoples, and that we should avoid needless conflict with others. More practically, he worried that a violent response would only spur further bloodshed across the generations, and you can see where we are today.
Yeah. Well, after 2 wars with the Deerwatch, his warning is more than relevant than ever. More relevant than ever, I'm done.
While Ferald's words were shrewd, they were ignored back then. Simply remembering his warning now will not undo the wars and the changes that the years have seen. There is blood on these stones, and that is all anyone remembers now.
Thank you for the head pat, Cyrus. Thank you, thank you. An image of a polished Adra cube flashes into your mind. There's writing on the sides, but the image is too faint for you to read it. The Anamenfat turns away from you and looks at the ground, gnawing a pointed claw. I'm a good boy, yes I am. Well, give them something else to remember. Oh. She looks at you sadly. I'm afraid I already have.
Another Estremor came through here a few days ago and, well, letting him through was a mistake. One I am eager not to repeat. The Guided Compass tribe has a reputation for being too soft with Estremoran. One that will not be improved by my failure to stop this man who has desecrated our most sacred sites.
Oh yeah, well that sounds like the guy I'm you to stop, actually, so I can help you.
I won't repeat a mistake in my haste to correct it. We bar twin elms from Estramoran to protect the ancient places that the builders left behind.
Mm-hmm.
The builders left this heritage to us to defend, but they alone had access to it. On this much, at least the 6 tribes agree.
You again see the polished Adra cornerstone in your mind. This time, the image is clearer. Each face of a stone is inscribed with a phrase you know by heart. You feel your lips form words. A gift from the builders of civilization to the guardians of their legacy. May the guardians watch the door while the builders keep the key.
These were the words given to the keepers of the stone.
I know.
Very well. The city is yours to explore. Tell the guard at the gate that you come to see the cornerstone with the blessing of the guided compass. If the gods have truly returned one of the builders to us, find the Delimgon of Ter Evron in Elm's Reach.
Mm-hmm.
If the gods have sent you here with a purpose, the Delimgon will know.
In the meantime, I shall be here to assist you. Yeah, one of my companions, a representative of the Valian Republics, wishes to discuss a trade issue with you. The Orlan turns her gaze towards Pelagina. Yes, the Valian godlike blessed of Hylia. So they say. The Anaminfat's face shows no outward emotion, but her voice betrays annoyance at Pelagina's interruption. And diplomats of the Duke's bells. I understand you were to be sent here with trade assurances from your masters. Revered Anaminfat, it is true that I was chosen to convey these assurances, but understand that it was fashioned more for war than etiquette. The Orlan smirks slyly. In these dangerous times, perhaps it is better to send warriors to do diplomats' work. Pelagina musters a weak smile. Indeed, Anaminfat, regarding the exclusive trade agreement. Her voice quavers slightly and her golden eyes dart in your direction. Let's encourage her. I like Pelagina, she's a neat character. Pelagina steels herself. The Republic's feel it would be in the best long-term interests of all parties if you maintained your traditional goods trades with the Deerwood. The Anaminfat's long ears pitch forward. A strange turn. What do the Republics want then? Pelagina speaks quickly but confidently. Town Drathara pearls. Trade will be picking up quickly on them in the Eastern Reach. You'll buy them exclusively from us for the next 5 years. In exchange, we will be your exclusive market for Adraban and Karo Golan for the same period. The Anaminfat considers Pelagina's words for several long moments. An interesting proposition. Valian, we will send emissaries south to discuss the details at greater length. Your appearance here speaks well of your Duke's intentions. Revered Anaminfat.
That's it. My position in the Brotherhood gone. I can't believe I just made up new trade terms to the Glanfath and Anamenfath. Postenago.
Well, you did the right thing for the Republics. Even if the Dukes can't see it from their vantage, can deal with their disapproval later.
Verus. They have a saying in Biajepe. New gold clears even the oldest debts. If I'm right, all will be forgiven. If not, there's nothing I can do about it now.
Nice. Was her quest finished now? Yeah, I know the taxes have been collected. Tell me more. Completed. Okay. What's this? Release. Oh, well. I honestly don't care about these guys, but all of these are criminals, so I'm gonna keep them in the dungeon. Wait, what?
Tread carefully, Estermore.
Sensing your approach, an agitated elven hunter suddenly drops his conversation and turns to face you. What kind of courtesy have you learned in your filthy homelands? A red stripe of paint gleams, pearly with sweat, from cheekbone to cheekbone. We speak of Glenfarren matters. Begone. The huntress in the group raises her calloused hand. Still your heart, read I. Do not forget where you stand. She parts the fine strands of golden hair that float before her face, and acknowledges you with a nod. In the house of our ancestors and the 6 tribes, we commune as one people. Ridai looks away and fumes in a restrained breath. The ancestors will forgive me and my brother when I clean the shame away from his name. He looks at the huntress, and from the taint it has brought on our tribe. What happened with your brother? My brother. The hunter's heavy breathing pauses for a moment. My brother Fjorm is the greatest hunter of our tribe. He set out on a blood hunt, but hasn't returned. And now, often, that puny liar, he claims that my brother... He clenches his fist. The elven huntress fills in the silence. Arthwin belongs to another tribe. He is the hunter that competed against Fjorm during their blood hunt. She gives a glancing look to Ridai. Arthwin claims that Fjorm has exiled himself, deciding to not return to Twin Elms. Ridai scowls. His stripe of paint curves like an angry wound. Exiled in shame. Or losing to him during the blood hunt. Can you believe this? Liar. Even though Arthwin returned with a giant Stelga's fang as proof, it's hard to believe that Fjorm would have failed to kill the prey first. The huntress digs her heel onto dark soil. But you cannot claim that yet, Ridai. Not until the Anafada judge the truth. Arthwin's weak, from a lower tribe. Ridai bares his teeth. He lies. I'll find the truth and clean my brother's name. Why would he lie? Why? He looks at you as if the answer were obvious. Ridai, please, still your anger. He does not know our customs. The huntress turns to you and nods. Arthwin stands much to gain from claiming a victory over Fjorm. It brings renown and glory to his kin, a lesser tribe, with twice split arrows. Arthwin has no history, no name, and now he returns a hero while my brother... Ridai's face twists in ire. Tricked, perhaps worse. Okay, what's a blood hunt? We prove our worth in a blood hunt. We set out to stalk and prey, always a dangerous creature, and only one kills it. First. The elven huntress interrupts with an exasperated sigh. Yes, but we hunt as pairs, to bond, as Glenfarren, as one, not as enemies. 2 hunters, 2 tribes, 1 spirit. That is our way. Ridai glowers in response. Our way isn't to lie. We don't betray our brothers and sisters for our own gain. The blood hunt between your brother and Arthwin has broken the communion of our tribes, Ridai. Do not dig in those wounds until you can claim the truth. She turns again to face you. Perhaps our custom appears strange to you. But despite what you see now, we Glenfarrens hold our bonds sacred. Okay, how do you plan on clearing Fjorm's name? A bit of sweat rolls down Ridai's forehead and hangs from his red-painted cheekbone like a drop of blood. It quivers as the hunter's muscles twitch. I can't tarry here while my brother's fate remains unknown. The Anafada must let me go. To judge Arthwin and to clear our tribe's name, they cannot listen only to your truth. The huntress lowers her head, glancing at you. Before the Anafada, only an impartial voice can speak for what happened. Radai whips his neck, and a drop of sweat lingering on his cheekbone flies in your direction. You mean to involve this one, an Estremor? She points at him, her calloused finger curved like a claw. Listen to me now, Arthwin returned. With proof, your brother did not even come back. The huntress blows against the fine hairs floating down over her face. The tribes are split. Something must be done. She looks at you, and this one is known to speak the truth. Okay, as an Estremor, I can look into this without risking tension between your tribes. Ridai turns to face you, his hard features betraying no emotion, and nods. You're right in claiming this. The Anamfada would agree to listen. There's no union between you and our tribes. The huntress nods at you. Fjorm and Arthwin went to the Northweld Forest, beyond the Old Song Pass, to hunt a giant Stelgar. Search there, and return to us for the truth if you can. But be aware, Stelgar of such size, many times over their lesser kin, usually gather a big pride that follow them closely. Radai fixes his eye on you, two glowing embers over the blood-red stripe painted across his face. Estremor, I don't expect help, but I'll do anything to know of my brother's fate and to clean the stain that Arthwin spilled on our tribe. He throws his chin back. Anything. This I claim. Okay. We know he already got updated twice. So we should talk to Arthwin too. That makes sense. I'm thirsty. That was a lot of talking. Okay. Oh, hello. The guard places a spear between you and the path that leads beyond the gates. Still, Estremor, the rest of the city is forbidden except by order of one of the Anamfada. Trespassing in Twin Elms is punishable by death. Yeah, I actually comes to see the cornerstone with the blessing of the guarded compass. The guard scolds and looks at his companion, who nods back. He turns to you again, his knuckles whitening around the shaft of his spear. Always too cozy with the Estremor. Go then, and mind your step around the sacred stones. I can go to Old Song. Yeah, the other guy is gonna be here, so it makes sense that we are here. Let me just check something very quickly. Because I have to. Okay. The Golden Grove. Oh. Glenfaven home. Old Song. Home. Hall of Warriors. He's gonna be here. Blood Sands and here. Evron. I wonder what's here. Oh. Why? I mean, it's fine. It doesn't matter much.
Nice and quiet.
Also, why did the music stop? Music? Hello? Music? Well, at least some form of music exists. Like, oh no, now we're here. Nothing here. A graze reduces damage by 50%, a crit increases by 50%. But even then, those traps did 400 damage to me. It's pretty, kind of a lot. Ooh, a starlit garb. Defense against spells and athletics. That's actually pretty cool. And this is not considered stealing, that's curious. Huh. Like, even if there's no one here. Or maybe that's why. Since there's no one there anyway, there's no way anyone would be able to actually see our crime. Well, let's go to the warriors then. What's this? Meat? Blood moss. Okay.
Nice and quiet.
Don't care about these. Oh, that's the dude. A lanky hunter grooms his stubble, a patched fuzz of blonde hairs, while listening attentively to a young elven woman. She whispers in his reddened ears and giggles. With his head still lowered, he flashes a wide smile in return. The hunter notices you. He clears his throat and straightens his back, adopting an air of dignity. I've been expecting you. My tribesmen have told me that you're to speak the truth about Fjorm's exile. He combs his sparse stubble, darting a glance to the elven woman. Well, Arwen doesn't hide from the truth. Ask, and I'll answer. Tell me about your tribe. We're young, the youngest tribe in Glanfat. Arwen hesitates for a moment, scratching his beard, and then spreads his long legs apart. But we're not weak. The other tribes have their history. Now we, the twice-split arrows, are making our own. We're true Glanfadens, true hunters. I've proven our worth. It was me, not Fjorm, who killed the giant Stelgar. Okay, what happened to him? He looks down and licks his lips. Fjorm. He pushes the blonde bristles away from the edges of his mouth. Every tribe knows his prowess, a hunter of great name, but this time he fell behind. We spotted a giant Stelgar on the Sentinel's Ridge, above the waterfall to the northward. It was stalking for prey. Arwen lightly shakes his head. Fjorm wanted us to split. He'd lure the beast to the river and I'd flank it. The hunter scratches his flushed earlobe, but the beast didn't come down to the riverbank. So he tried to circle it on the ridge. I climbed faster, and there it was, ready to pounce on me. Arwen thrust his fist forward. I pierced the flesh mid-air, rolled over and stabbed at it again and again. And it was dead. The hunter pushes his mustache back and looks up. Fjorm couldn't believe he didn't earn a kill, not even a cut. He said he'd not return with the shame of losing to a twice-split arrow. Arwen sighs. I pleaded, but he was a keeper of the stone. He'd not listen. And now he's exiled. Who knows where? Yeah, what happened is, half of the story was true. Fjorm probably baited the Stelgar, but you let the Stelgar kill him. They fought, and maybe you finished it off, at most. Do we want to do the other thing first? But let's talk to the other people first. Why not? This is considered stealing, so I'm not even gonna do this. We don't have to because we already have maximum level. We can't get another one. Okay, this is the only person with a name.
Estremor?
A grizzled old elf, his hair braided and dyed, stands at one end of the hall. His arms and chest are cross-hatched with the pale seams of scars. His crooked smile looks like another. It's not many Estremon who are permitted to enter our sacred city. Bethel must be feeling especially soft today. Adair pays no attention to the elf, and instead has locked eyes with the Stelgar in front of him. He whispers to you. Do you think he'd mind if I pet his Stelgar? Come to hear your future, Atea Evron? His smile widens, exposing a row of yellowed, crooked teeth. Or to make your own at Blood Sands. What's Blood Sands? An ancient place of sacrifice. He laces his fingers together in a cave by the great elms themselves. Restin and his druids have been an integral part of Glenfavin's society for generations, no matter what some of the other tribes might say. Glenfat has held its own against the Estremon because some of us still understand the power of sacrifice. He gives you an appraising eye. Does the thought make you uncomfortable? It should. It's what's kept our society alive for so long. Seymour crosses his arms over his scarred chest. Something else? You don't really seem too fond of us, Estremon. His hunched shoulders straighten. I fought in the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees. I saw my brethren cut down defending the places of the builders, and I shed blood alongside Galvan Regd himself. Oh, so he's gonna be like very old then. Because that happened like 200 years ago? He coughs. Now the Estremon seem to think that they will find a cure for their empty children among our sacred sites. Or worse, that they will find sanctuary in our lands. His gaze darkens, and I've seen what happens when they set their sights on Glenfavin's soil. They're desperate. The best of them want to find a cure. The worst are looking for an excuse to plunder. Isn't there room for you both? In 200 years, Defiance Bay and New Hioma have outgrown their own crooked cobblestones. They rupture and reek like bloated corpses. No. Inviting him into our lands would be the end of us. In my 250 years, I've led my people through 2 wars. Our borders have remained intact, and largely through the reputation of the 3 Tusk Stelgar. His voice drops to a growl. I've sired a dozen children, but none have been deemed fit to take my place. I care nothing for the legacies that obsess the Estremon lords, but it is important that my successor continue this path. Okay. Is your role hereditary? Not entirely. We believe that the souls of our ancestors come back to us, that a strong soul may bear many more, but all souls must be tested by our elders. The Rio looked first among my children for a successor, but their souls were weak. Ordinarily, they would turn to others in my tribe, to clan heads and their families. Ordinarily, he levels his gaze. But we share a tradition of fostering the children of other tribes, and the Anamfat of Fisher Crane has trusted his youngest to my care. He grimaces. And as none of my own blood are fit to take my place, the Rio will look next to this bog child, the kin of another Anamfat, and my foster daughter, to take my place. Bog child? His shoulders stiffen. I have nothing but respect for Fisher Crane, but their ways are not ours. The Orlans of Fisher Crane have lived in Thaneborg for 1,000 years. They are cunning and furtive by nature, which serves them well when they have swamplands to hide their movements. He crosses his arms. But this will not deter the Yestromorn on open ground. I wouldn't be so sure. There's greater fear in the unseen enemy. He points at the warriors gathered near the fire. Our savagery has deterred the Estromorn from further encroachment. They still tell of our deeds in the Broken Stone War. But if a child of Fisher Crane leads our tribe, we'll lose that boldness, and the Estromorn will lose their fear of us. The child will be influenced by the souls of her ancestors. In times of crisis, she will look to her kin in Thaneborg for guidance. No matter what I might try to teach her, it will not be enough. Okay. There is a way you could help. Few have a stomach for it, but I think you have the perspective to see why certain unpleasantness may be necessary. Go on. This Orlan girl has the soul of a leader. If it were passed to one of my own offspring, our tribe would remain strong. Estelgir at Simok's side scratches its massive head on the Anamfat's leg. He remains steady on his feet. The druids of Blood Sands have a way to do this, and they understand the importance of a strong line of succession for Three Tusk Stelgir. There rubs the bridge of his nose. He rattles his head as if to clear cobwebs. So all we have to do is steal baby's soul. What's the catch? He gives you a key. There's a house in the southeast Heartsong next to the river. The child will be asleep, and I've arranged for her to be unattended for a time. His voice becomes a quiet rumble. Take her and bring her to Kipo Rada in Blood Sands. She knows what must be done. When she presents you with the liquid essence, bring it back to me. What will the keeper do with the child? His scarred face twists again. Have you seen the rituals of Blood Sands? She'll sacrifice her. It's the only way to distill her essence. The grieving mother draws back in horror. What evil is this? To murder a child over a matter of politics? Her face twists into a mask of fury. We cannot allow this corruption, this madness to thrive. The Orlan child. Go on. How can you possibly expect to get away with this? Actually, yeah, I don't know why you need me to do this. Because I cannot do it without attracting undue attention. He frowns. I don't relish passing my own burdens onto another, but this will incite war between our tribes if I am caught. How can you possibly expect to get away with this? Few know the girl is here, and one Orlan babe will look much the same as the next. He shrugs. But let me worry about this. I will not do this. I do not relish the deed, but 2 centuries of leadership have taught me that all things bear a cost. Consider it well, Estermore. I'm not above rewarding those who are of service. Huh. Can I tell him that I'm gonna do this? And then we can bring the baby back to, whoever, to the Golden Compass, was it? Hmm. Hmm. I think... I think I'm gonna try doing it. Let's see, let's see. Uh... Where can I find a child? She's staying in the house in Heartsong. Wait, did he already give me the key? Have we journeyed so far to become tangled in matters of politics, pettiness? Her face is carved with stern, rigid lines. We must not do this, Watcher. We have come to save the children, the future of the Deerwoods. I will not stand by if you do this evil. Yeah, obviously I'm not going to sacrifice a child. Oh, who's this? Liras. A young man approaches you with a swift and purposeful stride. While you have never met him before, he has the same stern, wild look as Seamok. He doesn't speak until he's right next to you. When he does, his voice is quiet. Wait, I saw you speak with my father. Saying nothing. He glances back at the room with Simok. He's asked you to sacrifice Vela, hasn't he? He grits his teeth. Maybe he's right about the Tritos Stelga growing weak. But if this is the price of strength, it isn't worth it. The tribes have survived this long because we've stuck together. It's how the Republic survived during the collapse of the Grand Empire. Had any of the great cities sided with the Empire, we never would have broken away. Okay, I would never hurt the child. He sighs. You did not seem like one who would. But my father will find someone who will. He doesn't give up on an idea easily. But there may be a way to stop him. There's an herbalist among the Ovates of the Golden Grove. Bleda, that's her name. They all gather southeast of here, by the river. She could brew a poison. Simak wouldn't know the difference until it's too late. Why don't we just return the child? It's complicated. A child sent to be fostered by another tribe isn't allowed to return. Unfortunately, explaining that we're shielding her from my father would make matters much worse for both tribes. Okay, so if Simok dies, you're next in line, huh? It's not like that. The Rio will have already determined that my soul isn't strong enough. Whoever follows my father, it won't be me. Okay, I'm gonna poison your father. That's what he gets for trying to get me to murder a baby. Like I said, you'll find Bleda in the Golden Grove. Good luck. We probably shouldn't snitch to Bleda about what we need the poison for, huh? Ew. Let's get here. This is a neat little thing. Oh, there she is.
Builder's wisdom to you.
The elf holds a chipped wooden pipe. The sweet smoke wafting from the bowl makes you dizzy. Welcome, Estremore. I've got herbs and potions for sale. Looking for something to ease your travels? Or something to make them more interesting? When she grins, you see her teeth and gums are stained brown. White leaf. Nice way to spend an afternoon. And the following night, and most of the next day. Yeah, I hear you can make certain poisons. She take a deep draw of her pipe. Poisons? I only deal in tonics that heal and enlighten. She exhales a puff of smoke. Of course, many beneficial substances can be harmful when taken in great quantities, but that's just Wereta's way of keeping all things in balance. Okay, what kind of substances? She leans against the winding tree trunk and ticks the items off her fingers. Ooh, there's plenty. Concentrated carogolan, undistilled spider venom, rotten blood moss extract, cave coral mixed with skein bone. Well, I need the concentrated carogolan, please. She stops counting and scratches her head. What would you want with something like that? Well, my friend Stelga is dying. He wants to ease the creature's passing. Mind you, this is not deceptive, apparently. She frowns, her teeth clamped around the pipe. Poor thing. Here, take this. She gives you a vial filled with dark fluid. It works slowly, but this will send him back to the cycle kindly enough. Just see that it doesn't get misplaced. Half the dose would cure now Mara. Oh, let's give it all to the guy. Was there anything else I can do for you? Let's see. Flask of war paint. Nothing major. Wait. It's another sun. Wait, somehow I got so many stuff. When did I get the shield? This is kind of whatever, but... Oh no, a tiny beetle. No, we're gonna be using a tiny sporling. This is my new son. Look at him go. And he's even making sounds. I love my son. Okay, we've improved our perception. We do have a lot of resolve. I'm hoping that we just need resolve to persuade him to drink this. If we even need it. Seamok crosses his arms over his scarred chest. Something else? Yeah, here's the potion he wanted. Oh wow, intellect 19. He looks from the vial in your hand back to you. Something is wrong. His eyes narrow. What are you trying to give me? This is the essence potion you asked for. Send for Urda if you doubt it. He reaches out with a hand gnawed by age and battle. He clutches the vial close to one faded blue eye. To my tribe's salvation. He drains the vial in one long gulp. He swallows, and after sputtering for several seconds, he glares at you. His breath should be sound ragged and wet. Breaths. You poisoned me. He begins to raise his hand to the warriors in the other room. You just swallowed a mixture of concentrated essence and blood. How did you expect that to feel? I suppose you're right. He takes a couple slow, deep breaths. And I suppose I should thank you for the service. Safe travels, Estramore.
What brings you here?
Oh, it's a slow-working one. I see. A grand adventure completed. Okay. Yeah. So it's just a like we don't have any story. Our adventures. Liras looks you in the eye and gives you a slow nod. Okay, let's go outside, and then we're gonna go back in. Because I'm a little bit curious about what's this gonna mean. Like, is he gonna be dead now? Oh, he's not here anymore.
Be cautious. Be constant.
Certainly.
So he did die. But we didn't get any loot this way. But we didn't get any like negative reputation with him. So I guess that's fine. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, hello.
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara ex Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
You honor me, Grand Inquisitor.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now.
Uh-huh.
We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
Okay, how do we reach her?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
Hello, Beemo. Hello, hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Now, this is the thing. We've established... this is a vision of the past. We've established that in my past incarnation, Iavara was my character's sister. So we're kind of helping Theos kill our own family. How will we get Iavara to move to Oceanus?
You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Oh, another one. Hello. Two identical women seem to fade into view as they move away from the great trees that camouflage them. Their skin is tree bark, ridged and scaly, wreathed in a curling tangle of roots, buds, and blooms. The hair hangs beneath the shade of serrated leaves, like the drooping branches of the elms above, and the pupils of their eyes are encircled by hundreds of even thousands of concentric rings, as if to mark the accumulated wisdom of millennia. You bought the new vitrine so you can store your figures there. And I'm not gonna get too dusty. That's nice. Having a nice place to put your collectibles is pretty useful. These two identical people reminded you of a joke scenario in D&D? Oh, I wonder, what was it?
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms.
Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar. An ancient soul, like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fell him and be troubled no more. It would pay the debt of his predecessor.
No, I actually come here to stop the other guy.
So it would seem, Rhiannon. But we must not hasten to judgment. I see a different motive here. Different questions in these eyes.
What kind of questions do you think I have?
What of it, young trespasser? Is it as my sister says? Or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds?
Well, my business concerns the health of this land, and you would be wise to aid me.
That may be, flesh creature.
But I do wonder whether your intentions are quite so noble as that. Are you here for the land, or for you?
Well, mostly for me, but also for the land.
He is here for Theos Exarchanon, that much is evident.
Uh-huh.
The answer is yes, Old One. We crossed paths with Theos not long ago, and we can tell you where he went. But I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why.
Honestly, I don't really know why myself.
Ridiculous. Why would you pursue a man like that without knowing why?
Are you so agitated by recent events, sister? How many have come to the Elms over the years with no better an explanation? These two share a link that extends beyond lifetimes. It was bound to bring them here, sooner or later.
Let's see. Have you ever heard of this idea that you encounter on the crossing roads two people, one always lies and one always says the truth? You need to figure out... Yeah, that's like a typical... That's like a typical problem. Like a riddle.
But that's what this is really about, isn't it? You are tied to him.
Oh yeah, kill one guy and ask him, is he dead? I know that one. It's pretty evil though.
I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake and something once buried deep now wells to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I need to get to Theos.
I am sorry to tell you this, but Theos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
Okay, so what can I do then? What do you mean? I don't know what said. Alice's face is rigid. This is permanent. Magical. There must be some way to be changed to such a pass. Her face is pale, her eyes hollow. A bitter and grievous thing, Watcher. So all of this has been for nothing, and I'm gonna lose my mind.
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away?
No. I mean, I would live with it if I could.
That is the penance we all pay. But penance cannot be paid for a past only known in fragments and glimpses. However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Sheetha?
Yeah, you could get the human half of both. Or you can get the monster part of both. A fish with a bull head.
I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
What is it?
The man Theos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is I cannot see any more than you. And without that knowledge, your doom is certain.
Mm-hmm.
But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to its end.
Okay. Well, my past comes to me in pieces. How do I even unlock the rest of it?
You might wait for it to come on its own, of course. But when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
Okay, Theos, will he remember? Of course he would remember. The thing with Theos is, like, he's permanently awakened. He's got such a strong soul that it basically overrides anything that he starts with when he gets awakened. So he's always the same person. Obviously he would remember. What's this? Have you seen that post where that since vampires live so long, they would mix the slang from 5 centuries, and it would be pain to hear it? I don't think I've read that one. No.
It is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may never forget his charge. If he ever knew, he still does.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a rough punishment.
Not that he would tell you, of course.
You have followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms. The soul dragging mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You may have wandered into Theos's path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why.
Unhand me, you egg-sucking, lily-livered, jive-talking, wackadoo, foul villain cur!
The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
Okay. You said you know where he went.
He has gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engwith once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, Sun and Shadow.
May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. He opened a secret path in the tower's base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
Uh-huh. Is there another way to get in?
We know of one. On the burial isle, through the court of the penitents, Brayeth Yaman. A shortcut, in fact.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where faiths were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods, it can take you where you want to go.
What do you mean with the help of the gods?
The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow.
Do I think I'm gonna start the next one after this one? I mean, I 100% want to start and finish the second one. I don't know if I want to do it immediately after though, because these games are pretty long. This save is like 65 hours in, so I'm not like 100% sure if I want to do it immediately, or maybe play something shorter in between.
The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage.
Okay, how do I go talk to the gods?
No more than a ruin now. It is older than we, a place for the trial of heretics. We were not here to witness it, but at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods.
Uh-huh.
Neither the first nor the last, of course, but these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below. The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people, but for their souls, and their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends.
Uh-huh. How would I even get the hot gods to help me?
Behind us is Ter Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it.
So the only way to get through this pit is to pray for help.
Not the only way. Just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks.
Okay, who do I pray to? Any god you can, I should think.
I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for your sake, the feeling is shared.
Okay, how do I pray?
Ter Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, We know the gods they represent are aligned as well.
Okay, I want to pray to Abaddon, can I?
You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods expect proper homage, and none has patience for fools.
You started 2 the same day you finished 1. It was fun. Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be a really fun game, especially since I never played it. So everything there would be new. I just don't know if I want to do it like immediately jump into it. Cause like I said, it would be probably another like 60 hours or so to play it. Maybe. I'm gonna have to decide. I'm still probably like 6 hours away from finishing the game. So we'll see. We shall see. Is there no other way?
None.
Okay, bye-bye.
Before you go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace?
I'm gonna return him to the wheel of life and death, so he may trouble me no more.
Why let him off so easily? You would need a grove of elms like these to create enough parchment to write down his crimes against the world. There must be some greater punishment you can exact.
Surely, sister, he must do what is right for him. All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours.
Ah, shit. The ad just started. I snoozed it 3 times. I snoozed it 3 times just to make sure that I can go through this conversation, but no.
And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned, and it is those that trouble the soul above all others.
You weren't looking at the screen, so she said, like, what would give you peas? I like peas. I like green peas. They're very tasty, especially raw.
May you find an answer to yours.
And I was like 20 seconds away from finishing the conversation before the ad started. Shit. So I'm supposed to go here to pray. Well, I'm gonna...
Did you hear that? About our awakenings being permanent?
Yeah? Oh, Aleph wants to talk. Okay, I'm not gonna talk to him yet, cause I don't wanna... I want it to be heard by everyone. Let's go in here for now. I want to loot it a little bit. Essence taken by force may sustain 1, but essence given freely empowers many. This is considered stealing. This is a pretty big area.
I'll see what I can find.
Let's just be sneaky for now. Before we talk to anyone, we're gonna look around. I just hear him walking around all the time. I love my son. He doesn't have to hide. This is the keeper who we were supposed to sacrifice the baby to.
Eyes open.
Some earth blights. Okay. The bravest sons and daughters, born not by the sword of Estramorn, but by the daggers of their brethren. Was this? You're watching the crack guide to D&D Warlocks by Joe Cat, and you have to say that patron concept is funnier than you thought initially. Oh, how so? Also, welcome back from the ad, everyone. It should have finished by now.
What do you suppose that bally thing is?
It's a switch. Traces of deflection. And blood testament. Road. Oh wow, this is pretty nice. Or a monk. Arcane sugar daddies.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Oh, this is interesting.
Be cautious.
I
Be
didn't realize
constant.
this before. If you're not sneaking, hidden
Secrets
items
whisper
do
here,
not
I shall
get
listen for
highlighted by default. Huh. The Eldritch Blast is a versatile thing. I mean, that's being versatile is good. Oh, that's a lava pit. Do you throw people in? I think you throw people in.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Ah, shit. Source, yeah, that's fine. No, that's just that. What's in here? Just money. I don't care about money. Money stops being, like, important fairly quickly in this game, actually. Because you never actually buy stuff. You never actually buy stuff, like, after the first few levels.
I wonder what this is.
Checking. The petitioner before you swaddled in loose-fitting robes. Her hair is greasy and matted. A glossy film of sweat and grime coats her exposed skin. She has the swollen features of pregnancy and several missing teeth in her big, grinning smile. As you approach, she slowly turns to you and examines you from head to toe, smiling the entire time. "Joyous day to you," she says. Despite coming from a wearied body, her voice sounds resonant and relaxed. "I am Naka, midwife and lawkeeper." Her hands run across the slight bulge in her belly. She rolls her head back and sighs a relaxed purr. "Are you okay?" "Flawless," she replies. "Apologies, I should be left to my meditation. The rite of strength is invigorating, almost overwhelming to the senses." She reaches down and cradles her belly in her hands and turns away. And also, you got the chance to be bossed around by a literal devil who decided to make you their favorite person, so they're gonna be your mummy for a little bit. I don't think the patron would care that much about their warlock, to be honest. Let's talk to this guy. A dwarven man stands, motionless, near the roaring fire that lights the cavern. "Your sacrifice feeds the land, supplicants. Come forth." A gust of smoke curls around him, licking the charred flesh that bulges on his forearms. His only flex, Estromor. The dwarf holds his fists in a tight grip. "Your kin doesn't come here to share with the tribes. What do you want? What is this place?" "Blood Sands." The dwarf picks on his scarred forearm. His guttural sigh mingles with the crackling of wood and bones behind him. "As I said, Estromor rarely visit our halls." A skeleton who ironically refuses to let you die because you still owe him 2 platinum. And best one for him. The Glenfavens call this place Blood Sands. We call it home. The Etic Nor have tended the land from within this cave since before the arrival of the tribes to Twin Elms. Be warned, Estromor, we bleed life to nurture it. Our sacrifices may strike you as savage, but the health of these lands depends on them, and it's unseemly for guests to insult their hosts. Okay, tell me about the sacrifices. Everything must die to return anew, Estromor. Is this the only real option you have? Is your patron to be a magically possessed sentient sword and shield that yells fuck when you swing it? Okay. Through these sacrificial rites, we offer supplicants the honor of giving their most precious gift back to their brethren, back to the land. The dwarf lifts his fist, thick and mottled by red scars. The blood gives us strength. Even the Glenfarthans have come to depend on the blood paint. They brim with power before battle, all thanks to the sacrifices of their kin. Okay. Seems like these guys don't really have much to say. There's no greater honor than dying for one's tribe. If some fall in battle, how is this different? Well, if they are willing sacrifices, then I don't really care. But not when you sacrifice babies. For which I killed the guy. With poison. I don't think I want to go to Tyr Everon yet. Let's go to the Golden Grove. Let's go to the Golden Grove and we'll see what we can see. We'll see what we see. A perfect memory for centuries. That's a long time to live with yourself. Oh. Iswald. An elf with placid green eyes nods in greeting. Welcome to the Golden Grove, traveller.
Hail, Estremor.
Do you seek the wisdom of our herbalists, or simply bask in Wereth's glory? What do you believe? We believe that knowledge is found in the earnest exploration of the natural world. We do not, as some have said, oppose the gods. We simply believe that we have found a brighter, more peaceful path than devotion. Who leads your order? High Ovate Erona leads us. She sometimes journeys to Elmshore to renew her strength. However, she's there now with some of her closest followers, in fact. Erona is a mighty elm among us. She's lived for generations. There are none who understand the world as well as she, and we are fortunate to have her wisdom to answer our questions. Can you tell me more about her? Her eyes brighten. Why, you must meet her for yourself. She is wise and kind, and she has led our order from the beginning. Yet she walks among us, sus, and gives freely of herself. She turns her gaze to the great twisting elms. That is what so many of us cherish about her. She is present among us in a way that the gods never are. Okay, tell me about the Golden Grove. We are the Ovates, druids, philosophers, and students of nature. We gather here to share our knowledge and celebration. She gestures to another elven woman standing near the entrance to the grove. Many travelers come to us for poultices and remedies. Bleda understands the cures and poisons of nature like no other. Okay, bye-bye. So I guess there's nothing else here to talk about. Let's see if we can go this way. Let's go to Old Song. Because we need to go through here to get to the waterfall, I want to say, where the Stelgar was. Hylia's Shrine. I don't want to pray to Hylia, because wait, is this an entrance? This kind of looks like a door in a way. Okay, we need to go here. Let me think. Yeah, I want to pray to Abaddon. If possible. I think he's pretty cool.
Laying low.
Oh, we have two things here. Yeah, Hunter Brother and the Expedition. Oh. Tracks long and shallow, head east. They're spacked with blood. Oh wait, also, okay, we actually should talk to you too. Also, we need to kill so many people. Oh, when did I get this shield? Like, I'm getting random items. And I never remember where these are from. I'm gonna be using it. Let's actually talk to Alof. He's gonna be upset because the awakening is permanent. So he's gonna be stuck with Isilmir forever.
If those Delamgon are right, you and I are stuck with our awakenings. Not quite the news I was hoping for.
Yeah, it distresses me too.
You mean the knowledge that your mind is an unraveling thread and the man holding the other end is a millennia-old priest? Your concern is understandable. And while I hate to turn the subject back to myself, this all has me thinking about Isilmir. I'm stuck with her now.
Well, you've been awakened for decades now. Did you really think anything would change?
I suppose not, but hope is an unchaste mistress.
And on the bright side, I've got plenty of time to figure out how to deal with her. I mean, your whole life you've been taking orders. If you can't assert your authority over her, you're never gonna have it anywhere else.
It's hard to be comfortable in your own skin when you're sharing it with someone else.
Yeah. Even as he says it, something struggles within him. The muscles in his face twitch and his skin quivers. His eyes roll back in his skull, exposing slivers of white. Sweat beads and glistens on his forehead. After several seconds, he sighs and looks back at you. That wasn't as difficult as I expected. I think deep down, I'd always hoped to find a solution elsewhere. When I was a child, I always thought my mother would come home with a mysterious cure, or that my father, without knowing it, could somehow send her away just as he'd called her forth. I can't pretend that I didn't spend years of my arcane training hoping that one of my instructors would have the answer somewhere in his grimoire. When I joined the Leaden Key, I hoped and believed that, with enough loyal service, I'd gain the ear of someone in the organization who could help me. Even when I met you and realized your unique talents, I hoped that you might be able to reach into my soul the way I've seen you do with so many others. I'd been looking for someone else to solve my problem, and now I realize that I've got to face it on my own. Well, I've been with you the whole way, and I still am.
That means a great deal to me. Truly. That reminds me of something else the Delamgon said. About the gods not being real.
They didn't say that. They didn't say such a thing. Why are you lying, Alof? Well, they did tell us to pray to the gods, so that can't entirely be true.
Yes, I suppose so. Still, I can't help but worry at the state we'd be in if that were somehow true. If there were no power guiding us in this life and shepherding us to the next.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna find our answers.
I hope you're right.
Okay, let's get moving. Also you. Hello.
So you knew this Theos character ages ago, that right?
Well, to some degree.
And that was what? A few 100 years ago? 1,000? What's that even like, remembering something from so long ago?
I mean, you awakened too. You also had your memories from your past life. Well, it was a lifetime ago. Lifetimes ago. I still don't understand what it means for me now.
That may be a mercy.
She sighs, and the deep lines crease her blue and green brow.
That's what's got me thinking about Theos.
Mm-hmm.
Those Delamgon said he remembers everything.
Yeah?
I mean, can you imagine? Recalling centuries in perfect detail. Every lost love. Every failed dream. Torture. And from the gods he purportedly serves, no less.
Well, also, because he remembers everything, maybe his perspective is very different.
You ever wonder how that's changed him? Whether Theos would have chosen this path all those lifetimes ago if he'd known where it would lead?
I think he actually wouldn't. But after like a few hundred years, he probably just resigned to his fate. Let's see, do we have that option? I do think that he may have good intentions, but because he knows he did like all the evil things he did, he just goes with it because, I mean, hey, in for a penny, in for a pound, or however you say that, yeah?
There's usually a shady path that leads from one to the other, but I see your point. Though I'm surprised you have any sympathy for him. He's made this life, and who knows how many others, difficult for you.
Mm-hmm. An existence like his would be lonely. That would be punishment enough. I guess? Well, whatever his arrangement with Boudica, it can't really be easy to escape it, yeah?
She doesn't seem to let go of much, does she? I'm not defending Theos, but I remember what it was like to carry a burden you can't put down.
Uh-huh.
Which makes me wonder why he's doing it. Those Delimgon mentioned a charge from the gods. Lady Webb told you he was allied with Boudica.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of aid would a god ask of a mortal?
Well, the gods aren't supposed to intervene in the world of mortals.
So Theos is doing Boudica's dirty work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess we better move on if we mean to find out.
Okay, let's go.
Sharp eyes and keen
It's nice to
ears.
have that conversation with her. Wait, no, everyone. Arrows, crude and fletched with bright feathers, protrude from the corpse. Can I loot the body? I don't think I can loot the body. That's unfortunate. Yeah, can't.
Be cautious. Be constant.
The inscriptions on this altar, almost unreadable under a layer of thick moss, pay homage to Hylia.
What this is?
Okay. The tracks and bloodstains continue further east. Oh, a broken spear. The spear, broken in half, has ornate Glenfarben etchings along the two halves of its shaft. The wet wood shows dents stained green with moss, probably from impacts against the river's rock. Further east. Okay, we go this way. Over here, hurry. Oh, that's her? That's Gwyneth. Gwyneth hides in the tall underbush. Twigs poke out of her hair. Chunks of dried mud cling to waist high to her leather leggings. Quiet! Keep low! Take a look. She points up at the ridge. My friends are up there, up at the lip of the hill. There was signs of battle at the camp. Gwyneth nods. Her lip lowers. Her lower lip crushed beneath her teeth. I wasn't fast enough. Fox-ridden fangs. Mayron burned them all. What's going on? The fangs must have caught the scent and rushed the group. She begins to run her gloved fingers over her hair and stops. The pressure snaps one of the twigs stuck on her black curls. Some of my friends are still alive, but the fangs of them are surrounded. Okay. The expedition. Gwyneth brings her hand back to the pommel of her estoc, or what remains of it, has taken cover in some ruins above these cliffs. The fangs must be toying with them, or letting them starve a bit before the next attack. We need to act, or they're as good as dead. Okay, how did I get here? I cut a decoy path, set false campfires, and dusted over every footprint I could find. It didn't slow them down. It didn't slow them much. I'm gonna see what I can do. Maybe you can find a way around the fangs. There's got to be another way up that ridge. You aren't dressed like my men. Perhaps you could try talking to the fangs? They might not think you're with us. Please help. I already have enough friends to bury. She releases your hand and crouches down into the vegetation, blending back into the bush. Well, we can talk to them. I'm sure we have enough resolve to do this, yeah? I love the little guy just walking behind me. Yellow.
Estramore.
An elven woman stands beside a stag, petting the great beast on its neck. As you approach, the animal jerks its head in your direction and rears up. Stillness! The woman orders the stag, pulling on the skin of the stag's neck until it ceases to buck. Easy now, no need to fight. Yet. She turns to face you. One ear is missing its top half, and many battle scars raise her otherwise smooth skin. More foreigners, more unclean feet trampling on our lands, more blood to feed the trees. She shakes her head. You should not be here, Estramore. Her hand moves to one of several blades strapped to her hips. If you're here in our lands, it's either to steal from us or to aid those who would. She gestures to the north, and the ruins of Ingwithian buildings protruding from the underbrush. They're wooden mercenaries, looters. Can you hear their panicked whispers? Leave this place at once, or we kill you when we finish with these Estramorn. I can say I'm friends of Eglanthad, but because we don't have good reputation with Twin Elms, I don't think she's gonna believe us. She holds her gaze on you. The great stag romps its front hooves on the ground and turns to its master. Do you speak the truth, foreigner? If you are indeed a friend, you would respect our lands and not defile our sacred soil with your trespass. The woman clenches her jaw, its muscles quiver under the pressure until suddenly calm returns to her expression. If you have no bonds of kin with kith with the looters, I will give you a chance to prove it. She draws one of her swords with a swift arcing motion, points it to the ruins beyond. The invaders must be purged from our lands. Prove your worth, and we'll believe your words. Tell me about the mercenaries. Raiders, looters, same as all the other wooden thieves that pillage our lands. The woman touches the oblique stub where half of her ear used to be. We tracked the woodens from their first step beyond the great river and waited for them to err. They always do. We claimed half their pack in our first assault. The cowards that ran now huddle to the north. When the wind turns, you'll smell their fear. If they surrender, will you let them live? Softness such as yours will not bring them to heel. Their greed knows no bounds. Their memory honors no history. What use have we of prisoners? What example do we set to others by letting them live? She shakes her head. Why would we forgive again? Because you saw where they crawl. The fangs deserve better foes than these wounded animals. Send them home with grave warnings for their kin. The woman gazes north, her mouth a twisted scowl, as she ponders your words. The great stag nudges her shoulder, and she reaches up to scratch the animal's chin. Blood was spilled, and life sprouts from the soaked ground. She looks at you with a cold glare, mutters a curse under her breath, and seives her blade. We will let the raiders return headless. Their leader must pay for the crimes. Only then may the rest go free. Go deliver my message before I see the folly in this decision. So you wish the leader dead? We wish their leader to be an example to others. Sever his head, his freedom, or his family. Whichever will best warn others not to trespass into our lands. Okay. Can we talk to the lady here? I wonder how she's gonna react. Oh, she doesn't want to talk to me. Okay, that's fine. I mean, hey, this is a sucky situation.
Laying low.
Laying low. Oh, what's that? Forest lurker. Stop, friend or foe. The man in blood-soaked armor points his blade at you, and his wounded and weary comrades flock into position behind him. A trickle of blood runs from a cut on his brow down to his neck, staining a locket worn on a gold chain. You're not Glenfathan. He tightens the grip on the sword's handle. By Magrin, friend or foe, I said. Well, I'm a friend. Oh, because I have positive with Defiance Bay. Nice, nice. Sword still pointing at you, the man gives a sideways glance to his companions and nods. The mercenaries lower their weapons. By the flame, the hero of Defiance Bay, a rare and welcome sight. Friends, this far from home. He lets the weight of his sword lower his arm. He gives a concerned look to his mercenary company. Look at us, hiding in the rocks and holding in our guts. He points south. The fangs, they've bloodied us, and now we're trapped. Yeah, Gwyneth sent me. What happened? Resourceful girl. The captain huffs a chuckle before returning to his humorless frown. We assumed the Glenfathans killed her before coming upon us. I'm relieved she's alive. Doubly relieved she brought help. He rests his sword, still caked with blood, across his shoulders. The tribesmen ambushed us just as we made camp. The fight was a lopsided slaughter. Esmar stares at his feet as he finishes his thought. In the melee, someone tripped through the campfire. We were lucky in that regard. The stench of burning flesh and the choking smoke obscured the scene, and a few of us managed to withdraw. We ran to these ruins to regroup, but now we're trapped. The face painters are just south of our position and have us cornered. No doubt they're happy to let us starve while they rest and rebuild their strength before attacking anew. His left hand idly toys with a locket worn around his neck. Seems this is where we'll be making our last stand. Yeah. So I convinced the Fangs to let you go, but you, as the leader, must bear the punishment for trespassing and be taken prisoner. Ismar blinks and arches his eyebrows in surprise. Well, if anyone could have, I supposed it would be you, but creases around his eyes deepen with his growing frown. He looks at his locket and lifts his eyes back at you. Prisoner. If it's the only way to save my men, I'll endure it. But who's prisoner? Oh, you know what? I have room in my stronghold to take you on as a prisoner. You're gonna be treated well. You will hold me prisoner, and that will satisfy them. He takes a half stride back and looks you up and down. So be it. I'm more than willing to be held hostage if it means we all get home safe. I'm sure you'll have to keep me as a proper captive to honor the arrangement, but I understand. It's far better than being the Fang's prisoner. The captain turns to his company. Each of his soldiers stare back, pale with fear. Esmer takes a deep breath, then raises his fist in the air. New orders! You are to fall back. The expedition is over. Store your gear and make for Defiance Bay at once. The mercenaries exchange glances with each other, waiting for the first one to obey the command. Are you deaf? I won't tell you again. Time to go, now. Esma's booming voice springs the reluctant mercenaries into action. Wounds are dressed one last time, camping gear is secured, and within minutes, the men set off on their march, nodding at their leader in acknowledgement as they pass. They're not gonna be too happy. They're not gonna be too happy that I imprisoned the guy myself. Oh, they actually left. Okay. But this way we also avoided having Defiance Bay be unhappy with us. Gwyneth, her gloved hands full, half buried in the waves of her rebellious hair, watches you approach, incredulous. You did it! Her dimples frame a beaming smile. She lets out a sigh of relief and wags her finger at you. We'll be chanting your name back in the gift. Everyone will know what you've done for us, I promise. I realize Esma will need to be your prisoner if you are to honor the agreement. An odd arrangement, but it'll save the expedition. Besides, I'm sure your dungeon is far more enjoyable than whatever the Fangs do with their prisoners. She scratches her cleft chin with her free hand and gives you a measuring look. But you're the type to deserve more than just praise. Coin? Weaponry? She rubs her gloved fingers together. Or if nothing more tangible suits your fancy, I'll gladly share my skills with you. Oh yeah, sure, teach me. Gwyneth nods enthusiastically. I was hoping you'd say that. She removes the gloves from her hands, stowing them in her back pocket. When you spend as much time as I do in the ruins, you learn to strike first, and to strike without warning. She holds her estoc out in front of her, its blade parallel to the ground. The key is efficiency in movement. Dungeon Delver. Ooh. She walks you through several footwork drills that focus on quiet footfalls and measured breathing. Place all your weight on the final step when you're ready to strike. She yells for emphasis as she demonstrates a swift, silent lunge. As you follow her examples, she nods in satisfaction. I think you've got the grasp of it. I'm honored I could teach you something new. She half curtsies and turns to take her leave. Esma watches Gwyneth disappear into the thick foliage. He turns to face you. I'm ready, I think. He unwraps the locket from his hands and ties it around his neck. At least some of my men are leaving Air Glanfath alive. Okay, what's the Dungeon Delver? What is this? Plus 0.1 to crit damage multiplier, plus 1 strength, stealth, and plus 1 mechanics. That's neat. It's not like too amazing, but it's probably a lot better than whatever she would give me. A major adventure added. Okay. Let's have... Can I do it? Okay.
Silence surrounds me.
Still have lots to do. Any hidden stuff? Like, this looks like a hidden thing, but I guess it wasn't.
Laying low.
Some mushroom. We still haven't found the lair of the sky dragon. Oh. Yellow. That's good there. You.
Lead the
You
way.
attack this guy. You're gonna hit all three of them. You do the same. Actually, I should probably smack him too. That way, yeah, wonderful.
How may I help?
Actually, you may help by casting a sleep spell. Nice. We didn't kill anyone. That's a shame.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there. How's your dagger? 30 damage, okay.
Certainly.
Over a ground hardened by dry blood and stumped leaves, the corpse of a giant stelgar crawls with flies. Its flesh has been pierced and cut, as if stabbed by spears and slashed by swords. You touch the dead stelgar's flank. A cloud of flies stirs into the air, and suddenly you feel the creature's remaining essence. The world around fades away. The pack rests. Rocks shelter the young, full bellies. You turn away and look beyond the trees. The moon breaks over the swaying canopy. A scent in the air stirs, a tingling in your mouth. You slide into the shadows, the taste of hunt filling your nostrils. Light shines on the stones by the water that falls. Prey down below, two-legged, hair like dry grass. It moves near the water that flows. Thin legs, slow, noisy, unaware. It holds a sharp stick. Two-legged hunter, weak hunter, prey. Closer, prey. Bright moon, prey into the dark. Pain, pain on your side. A sharp stick pokes out of your flank. You roar and shake it. It snaps, breaking on the stones. Wet stones. Your blood. Leaves rustle. You look. Another two-legged. Another hunter. Thick legs, silent steps, stripped face. Strong hunter, enemy. You leap, aiming at its neck. It moves, fast. Your claws find flesh, ripping it deep, ripping it down. Wet leaves, two-legged blood. It howls. It fights back. Long claws cut through the air. They slash at your flesh. More pain, sharp pain. You strike, it strikes. Hot blood on your claws, hot cuts on your chest. The world goes red. Your strength fails. You can't breathe. The two-legged hunter looks down. Wet ground, your blood. Sharp stick above its head. Bright moon above its head. Strong hunter. The world goes dark. So yes, it was the other dude.
Oh, and if I find something good, you can have half.
Can we? No. So somewhere here there's a thing. Okay, if it's just the lurkers, it's fine. If it's just the lurkers, I'm fine, because they're not too strong. If it's the Purgra or whatever they're called.
Nice and quiet.
Oh? Okay. Hello. I hate these guys.
I'm ready.
Finished!
Oh, nice. There, crit him. Very nice. And it went down. We did 100 damage, and from superb it went to exceptional. Let's see. It is difficult to say for sure, but the blade seems to have picked up tarnish with use. Despite the relatively light usage it has seen since you acquired it, it is hard to imagine that the blade was made so cheaply that it is already near the end of its lifespan. Yet it does not appear to be far off. A single rune is visible along the blade. At first it looked like more of a scratch. It seems impossible to remember now whether that rune has always been there. We needed there to do even more damage with it. Ideally, I'm gonna maybe turn off AI to have it deal with this by himself. It's gonna suck, but maybe if he gets weaker. Oh, he got stuck. Let's
How may I
have.
help?
Are you okay? They're not immune to being unconscious, so we can cast a spell here. How about it? There, who the hell are you attacking? Okay. There, you cast the spell again, please. There, please murder this one person, thank you. And murder the blight too. Oh wait, immune? Oh, immune to slash damage. Okay, that sucks.
Yes.
Let's have you die then. No, keep attacking this dude, please. And you attack this guy. Everyone else, just murder this guy.
My mind feels sharper.
Are you? Oh, he's... So you being stuck makes you unable to do the thing? Let me just do this.
None shall stop us!
We did a lot of damage, nice.
Hey,
Oh, nice, perfect. Since he already did 300 damage. It became fine. Let's see. The leather on the handle has become brittle and begun to crack. The blade's original luster has dulled, and the reflections cast into it are hazy and indistinct. A second rune appears next to the first, but the blade seems altogether worse despite the new detail. Even worse. It's even worse. Now we need to do 600 damage with it.
Certainly.
Laying low.
A sneak attack bonus. Not this. This. Fenced against prone and push. You know what? No. Most of the time he is going to be attacking someone who's attacking my character. So I think we're fine here. Okay. Wait, does it say that he has to do the damage to enemies?
hey.
Yeah. So if he smacked me. Which one am I?
Do you mind?
Do you mind? Yeah. Well, that's a shame.
Silence surrounds me.
So maybe we should have him fight by himself for a little bit. To do the 600 damage. 600 damage though, that's a lot. Then again,
Hey.
he can just kill the young stag, yeah? This counts, yeah? It does. Okay, let's kill innocent animals. For Eophas. Kill those little innocent creatures. I mean, it's
Oh, and if I find something good, you can have half.
a way to do this. When I was doing the other thing, I think it was
Yes?
this one. I actually was able to upgrade this weapon by attacking myself. Because it didn't
Certainly.
say we have to do the damage to enemies, just damage.
Hey.
There, you know what to do.
All right then.
Oh, nice. This guy's got a lot of health. Perfect. Nice. Oh wow, that was... This guy gave me a lot of experience points. Wonderful.
Sharp eyes and keen ears.
I wonder if this guy was a quest related. Oh shit. Yeah, we want to murder these guys. There's gonna be more than one, I think. No? Oh. Was I mistaken? Still, she could have actually stoned it there. So, nope. Murder you.
Hey.
Oh, I dare you, piece of shit.
All
Just
right.
do this normally. Everyone attack here. You attack here.
That's it!
Oh wait, we did turn off AI. That's fine. He's not gonna be able to kill us, so that's fine. Oh, better yet. He's gonna attack someone else. This is fine. He's got very good slashing defenses, but it's a... Wait, that's weird. It's still got zealous endurance and focus on it? Huh. That's fine. We do want to get rid of our dagger as soon as possible. Well, maybe not get rid of them, but upgrade it fully. It's probably gonna be still like... Oh, 100 damage, okay, okay. Oh, we interrupted him. Nice.
Certainly.
Uh-huh. What's this? Perception. Okay. The nest. Oh, is this the nest? Let's explore the rest of this a little bit more. Oh, bears. You know what? Bears are fine.
Hey.
Young bear. Let's kill the young one first. Nice. 34 damage. And about 50. Okay, so he's gonna... He already did 600 total. That's good. It's even worse. The edge of a blade has lost much of its original sharpness. Every slice is a labor, and it seems increasingly better suited to break the seal on letters than to pierce flesh. The grip has started to fray considerably. There's a third rune on the blade now. Perhaps it is the symbol for dough. Still 1,000 damage.
Certainly.
It's gonna suck.
Laying low.
We will persevere. We shall persevere because I think it may be super good. There's the soul of a hunter. I do remember seeing some boar down here.
Whew, good thing I sold most of my jewelry.
So we can go murder some boars.
Hey. You're not getting...
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, this is pretty good. Yeah, this is pretty good. We did like, what, 150 damage there? 190, wow, that's pretty good.
Keeping an eye out.
Oh, more boys. Oh, nice, nice, nice.
Hey. You're not...
No, why do you even try doing something? Stop. Stop it. Nice. Can I heal the boar? Nah, that's a shame. But yeah, this is great. He already did almost 500 damage with it. I just hope it's worth it.
Certain?
Nice and quiet.
Oh?
No, I wanted this. This leather pack is belonging... This leather pack, its belongings washed down the current of the river, gleams like a wet rock. Okay. Forest lurker. No woods.
Hey.
Oh no, that's too many of you. Nope. Not gonna have it to fight this alone. Now, these guys are not immune to being put unconscious. Wonderful. Nice, almost 700.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Wonderful. Awakened roots.
Slowly
Okay.
now.
I tried to pet a Stelgar once. Similar outcome.
You only tried to pet the Stelgar when we went to the war room in the just recently. Beneath the raging waterfall, the corpse of an elven Glenfarthern hunter lies shattered against the rocks. Broken bones protrude from its skin, but you also notice deep parallel cuts in the rotting flesh. The slashes trace almost every part of the body, as if it had been ravaged by a dozen blades. This man probably died before his fall from the cliffs above. You touch the dead elf's forehead, droplets of water glistening down its purple surface, and feel a sudden jolt from the hunter's lingering essence. The world around you fades away. You're walking among the underbrush without making a sound. Moonlight catches sight of your arms, shining them pale, but you quickly dart again into the shadows of the giant trees of the North World. Your blood brother is not so deft as you expected. Look at him, frail, unaware. He doesn't deserve to share the glory of his hunt. It's been countless seasons since a Stelgar like this one, twice the size of its lesser kin, has roamed the forests near Twin Elms. Often fell on the trick. You almost feel pity for him, but you've convinced yourself that he'd only get in the way once the killing begins. He'll be safer by the river, expecting that we'll flank the Stelgar when it comes out to drink. But this kill will be only yours. The Stelgar is larger than you imagined. It stands without fear atop the waterfall's ridge, its silhouette cutting a monstrous hole against the mantle of the night sky. A beast of legend, a true hunter. Your hand tightens around the shaft of your father's spear. The weight feels balanced, just right. As you prepare the throw, you put everything into it. The spear flies through and hits its mark. The Stelgar didn't even hear a sound. Its blood spills bright on the rocks, yet it stands unfazed. The beast pounces. Moonlight shines off its grey fangs. Your hands draw your blades, without a second thought, as you lunge forward to meet this monster. It's vast. It's ripping your flesh apart. You stab at the darkness engulfing you, deep, again and again, but there is no slowing its embrace. So basically what happened It was a double kill. Okay, this is a little bit of a problem. So we're gonna have to have it there use the other weapon, the other dagger. Because there's no way... Wait, how bad is it? I mean, it's not that much worse. It is like, what, 15 less accuracy? He needs to do 300 damage there. We'll see. We shall see. Do we need to rest? I don't think so. A winding stair hugs the cliffside, providing an impressive view as you work your way higher and higher. Not too far along the path, however, you find your progress interrupted. A large boulder appears to have fallen onto the road from somewhere up above, and it now sits squarely in your way. Let's examine the area. The boulder is nearly flush with the cliff face, preventing you from passing by on that side. Along the edge of the cliff, however, there's a narrow space just wide enough to follow across to the other side. The boulder's landing has crushed the steps beneath it, however. No, let's use a hammer and chisel. We have like a million of these. Chiseling away at the boulder proves a slow and wearing endeavor, especially when several sections of the boulder prove too hard to carve through, forcing you to aim elsewhere. After a long while, your efforts pay off, and a section of the boulder splits away. You hear the echoing clatter of the rocks tumbling down the side of the cliff. The sound seems to stir something overhead. A shadow crosses the path, quick as lightning, and vanishes before you can catch a glimpse of what has cast it. But you do see rapidly growing silhouettes of several more rocks, flung down at you from above. Without a moment's pause, you dock onto a small rocky protrusion along the cliff face. The rocks strike the earth hard and bounce away down the steps or else over the side of a slope. Your ordeal past, you continue your climb, and the rest of the journey proceeds without incident. At last, you find yourself at the base of a final twisting set of steps, above which you can see the towering pillars of Hylia's nest. Okay, an ad just started. That sucks. But we are not tired. We could rest, because we have the bonus from perception, so we can rest without losing it. I think that makes sense. We're also gonna get some damage reduction bonuses. Nice, nice, nice.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Beep, 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 beep. So yeah, we're gonna be fighting a Durgan. Okay, we do have some potions prepared in case we need to heal. That's okay.
I'm ready.
Hey,
Tell me.
how may I help?
We actually don't have, like,
Hey.
only
ready.
Pelagina has items that actually give us skills. Okay, let's see. I wonder if this is the lowest it can get, or if there's gonna be another one. It's gonna suck if there's gonna be another one. Like a terrible weapon, like the, what was it? The Disappointer. Yeah, this one. We'll see.
Yes?
The edges of the bones are brittle and blackened. Wormlings. Oh, I know. You walk on two legs.
I rather hoped we'd be sneaking up on it.
Oh, because I see. Because we destroyed the boulder. Because we destroyed the boulder, he knows about us. That's okay. As you reach the summit of a mountain, a gust of wind stirs the air. You hear a noise like the snapping of sails, and the sky is briefly blotted out. A dragon lands before you, shaking the ground beneath your feet. It draws itself up to its full height and spreads its wings. Barring your passage, its neck, its back, and the ridge on its spine are covered with magnificent plumage. It hisses at you, and while the sound is unlike any language you've ever heard, the beast's meaning is utterly clear.
Vermin invading my nest, threatening my hatchling. You shall feed my young.
A small worm crouches in a corner of the temple behind the dragon. Uh-huh. You have young here?
I will protect my last hatchling to the death! And that death will be yours, rodent.
Hylia is a ghost of motherhood, actually.
And of the sky and all winged creatures. Even my kind know of her.
Then you should respect her temple and leave. Heat from the beast's roar sears your face. It lashes and flurries scales and feathers. I don't think she likes me telling her to leave her house. That's okay. That's fine, that's fine. Is she immune to being put unconscious? That's a shame. But these guys aren't. So I think we should... Oh, that guy got exploded. You know what? Let's have it smack this guy around.
Aye?
You're not immune to being put to stone, though. Resistance to prone. That's okay. Oh, it was a breath attack. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Everyone else, just murder the dragon, please. You try this again. Maybe you should. Please, everyone murder.
Hey.
Why do you not? That's so weird. What's up with you? Why can you not attack there? Why is it that only Pelagina can attack here? What? Everyone murder. Like, are you stunned? Okay, you are stunned, but Adera isn't stunned.
Hey.
You should be attacking. Are you like... Oh, that's so dumb. That's so dumb.
Tell me.
Indeed. That's not very good.
Okay.
I'm here.
So we need her to be closer. That's so dumb. Okay. But, oh hey, we did manage to stone the dragon. Very nice. Oh, did she die? Nice.
Hey.
How much damage did you do there? She did 79 damage. It's pretty crappy. Well, hey, we get a Sky Dragon Eyes and get some dragon meat. Gods and Hunter. Plus 1 might, accuracy. That's a whatever weapon. Will Breaker. Nothing here.
Laying low.
Okay, swap your weapon. And now we rest here. And the Stormcaller has been upgraded. So she gets... She got a crackling bolt twice per rest. It's fine. I think her other weapon is gonna be better here anyway. Yeah, we're gonna have her keep this. This is fine. Okay, this is good. This is good. Oh, that's neat. Okay, do I want to... Before we go back to Elm's Rage, Twin Elves in general, we do kind of want to have that level up that weapon. So let's just go around and start killing some innocent woodland animals. That's probably gonna be good. Yeah, I see, you see?
Hey.
There, go murder stuff. Actually, turn off AI, please.
Hey. Leave it.
Yeah, that's good. Like, each one of them has about 100 health. Well, the big ones. The big ones.
Hey. Kinda like your attention, don't you?
Wait, what did it do? Oh, I didn't realize I could press O on a thing and it's gonna do a hotkey. Oh, wow.
Hey.
Huh, that's neat. Okay, 56 more damage. I'm sure it's gonna be something like...
Hey.
Another like 1,500 damage that we have to do. But it's done. So we can start murdering because it's not gonna matter too much. Yep, 1,500. It's a terrible weapon. Let's see. The blade appears to be coated with a dense fog. Its shine no more than a memory. There are deep scratches across it now, and it seems that all but the softest materials leave their mark upon it. Blobs of rust are spattered across the blade, and seem to spread from one moment to the next. They eat at the metal like a wasting sickness. The leather on the handle has begun to slow off entirely, and it needs to be secured in the palm to ensure good grip before every use. 4 runes are visible along the blade. It seems increasingly likely that it is some kind of apology in a dead language. Okay, now we need to do 1,400 damage.
I'll see what I can find.
Oh.
Silence surrounds
Curious.
me.
I'm really curious what's this gonna do. No, you go back here at that attack. So here it's a little bit different. Here, hitting an animal makes all the animals hostile to you. Which is good, actually. Which is good, actually. What do we have? 200 damage. That was pretty decent.
Certainly.
Oh, this one didn't get upset
Hey.
at me. Moida! A regular antelope has about 100 health. Yeah? Yeah, about 100. Abern, hello, hello! Thank you for the raid. What are you playing, Valorant? And you were playing Just Chatting. Hi, it's a crab raid. Hello, raiders. Hello, Kitty Cat. Hello, Abern.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh, clutch.
Okay, alright,
Oh,
it's
disarm,
okay.
disarm,
It's okay.
disarm.
It's okay.
It's
okay.
Hello, raiders. Hello, hello. I'm Matombar, a wolf spirit turned private investigator. It's going pretty well, Abern. How was today? I hope it was good. I hope it was good. Right now, we're playing some Pillars of Eternity. We have a terrible weapon that we need to do like a lot of damage with to try and maybe have it upgraded. Doing a little bit of a side stuff. Unfortunately, we have to kill innocent woodland creatures to do it. You got some W's. Nice, nice, nice. Well, I'm having lots of fun with the game. Like, I know these types of games, like RPGs like this, aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I'm really enjoying myself. I don't think there's gonna be anything living in this cave. Oh wait, actually, there's an ogre. Okay.
Hey.
Everyone just stay here. Ogre can be here. To make it easier, let's put him to stone. Nice. Oh, that's a lot of damage we're doing to him. Wait, is he not doing anything? He is. Let's do it. Let's do it a second time.
That's it.
Oh yeah, we do. We actually do sneak attack damage because he counts as flanked.
Hey.
How much damage did we do to him? Oh, we did a lot. Wait, there's more ogres? Since when are there ogres here?
Yes.
Okay, with these guys, let's put them to sleep.
Hey. That's it.
Nice. Nice, nice. Oh, I think this is going to be actually enough for us then.
That's it.
Yeah, unconscious doesn't count as being flanked. That's fine. Oh wow, we fell. That sucks. Oh, we grazed and oh, that's okay.
Aye.
Let's expose vulnerabilities then. It's gonna lower his defenses and maybe. We're good. We're good. He can take him. Is that gonna be enough? That's not gonna be enough. Nowhere close. That's okay. Very nice. Just 166. That's actually gonna be pretty quick.
Certainly.
We need to find like 2 innocent woodland creatures to kill. Boom. Oh, there's an antelope. No! No! It's gonna kill us! No, everyone, go back here. I guess I didn't click just there for this. That sucks. That sucks, because they did some damage to it. That was my mistake.
Certain?
That's fine, that's fine. We can always go somewhere else. I know there's gonna be... Let's go to Durford's Crossing first. Because I know that's in that other thing, which I forgot the name of. I know there's like a bounty target here. It's gonna be a little bit tougher. But we should be able to maybe catch some innocent woodland creatures, yeah? Or maybe no, this is too small of an area. Okay, let's go back then. Let's go here. There has to be some wild animals there. Yes, hireling payday. That's it. I don't want to free him because I do want to.
Oh?
I do want to keep my promise to the Glenfathens. Wait, are you really going to tell me that there isn't any wild animal here? Wow. I should say wild animal that I haven't killed. There's not going to be anything in the Searing Falls. Let's go to the Wooden Plains. Not going to be here. That's fine. That's fine. Probably not there. Has to be someone. Not gonna be here because there's a body. That means there must have been enemies there. Oh, come on, don't do me like this. I don't think there's gonna be any livestock in the destroyed farm. Also, I doubt there'll be anything here. I mean, we can check. But if there was anything, we probably killed it because it was hostile. Okay, I didn't want to do it, but let's go to Stonewall Gorge. We will, depending on where we start, try to avoid the bounty target if we can. Nah, there was Stelgar here, I think. Okay. I'm guessing they're gonna be here.
I'll see what's ahead.
Maybe? Oh! Yes! Yes, this guy has like a 100 health. Maybe he's got enough. He doesn't have enough.
Yes?
But it was 20. Now he just needs, what, 100? 98. Nice. I really hope it's gonna be worth it, though. It's gonna be it's gonna be such a shame if it's gonna end up being like a regular superior weapon. And it's still probably not gonna be as good as what he has. There they are, the swamp spores. This is fine. They are not immune to being unconscious, though. So, try to put them to sleep, please. And we do want to turn on AI, actually.
Mind.
That's curious. I was here before. How is it that these guys actually haven't died yet? 50 more damage.
Certainly.
Isn't that guy supposed to be here? A troll. Maybe he's gonna be in the cave here. I guess that would make sense.
To whispers and shadows.
Yeah, these guys just respawned here. Oh, he just hit it. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. That's fine. Wait, did Eder do this damage? No, he did 13. That's fine. Make sure to actually attack people who can be annoying. I think Eder did enough damage. Let's have him swap now.
Take
Moida! Nice. The unlabored blade. Oh, now the graphic also changed. So, it became a mythic weapon, plus 5 accuracy, 20% attack speed, chance to cast Firebug on a hit, which is 10 meters range and 5 meter jump. It jumps 8 times and does 40 to 50 burn damage. And doesn't get weaker with the jumps. Okay. It grants healing chain per rest and dimensional shift per rest. Those are not like the greatest, but plus 18 accuracy and 65% damage. It's really nice. Let's see. Oh, the blade has undergone a complete metamorphosis. The dagger is in every respect extraordinary. It seems like some transcendent realization of what a dagger would be in its purest, most perfect form. 5 runes grace the blade now, and their meaning seems to trickle into your mind as you look at them. Weather, die, and be born anew, free of old labors. It is a really good one. So, let's see. Just by itself, it has a little bit more damage and a little bit more accuracy. It sucks. It sucks that it doesn't have the attack speed, crit damage multiplier, and hit converted to crits from the Durgan Steel. But even if we had Durgan Steel, we can't, like, additionally enchant this. Well, let's just look at this. Yeah, hits to crits is very powerful. But I feel the additional accuracy is kind of gonna offset it a little bit. This is still legendary though. It's a waste. It's a little bit of a waste that we did make this legendary. But it's really nice. I like this dagger quite a bit. And he can keep this, that's fine.
Certainly.
Certainly. The firebug though. Like that bonus to damage is amazing. I mean, yeah. On a crit, firebug. Is it a chance to cast firebug? Let me check again. 3% chance. Wait, on a hit or crit? Oh, that's fine. If it's on a hit or crit, then every time he hits, it's 0.3% chance to do, or at least 360 damage. Before damage reduction. Let's say 180 damage bonus. Yeah, as long as there's 2 enemies and decently strong. Okay, we went here. We do have to go back to Heartsong. We do have to go back to Heartsong, to the Longhouse, because we wanna tell everyone what the truth is. And the truth is, it sucks. What's this? Gada the Necromancer wants me to do something. She's gonna leave in 8 days. Okay, that's fine. 8 days is plenty. Okay, hello, Kay. Hi. We're so close to a Twitch baby. Yes, it's 7 months. 7 months. Have you decided on a name, Kay? I'm gonna let you name the first one. But hey, how are you doing? I hope you're doing very well today. What are you gonna name them? I mean, if you don't wanna, I'm pretty bad with names though. We have more than one. Yeah, I want like 11. But yes, thank you so much for the sub. I really do appreciate it. I love you. Okay, let's talk to Ridai.
Estremor?
Okay, you've returned. He glances at the huntress in the group. We hope you found the truth about my brother's fate. Yes, I've concluded my task. It's time to speak with the Anamenfath. What did you see? Where's Fjorm? He takes a step forward. Tell me! Redai! The huntress thrusts her palm between you and her companion. The truth belongs to all of us, even Arthur. You know this. Redai hesitates for a moment. He wipes the sweat off his face, leaving traces of red paint on his hands. I'm ready to share the truth with the Anamenthath. He looks up, and I'll make sure that so is Arthur. So we're supposed to talk to you? Now then. I've been investigating Fjorm's disappearance. Indeed. Arthur and Redai have spoken of little else. I do not envy your position. Girls, Anams. Yet your testimony may resolve the tensions between the Keepers of a Stone and the Twice-Split Arrows. It's not gonna. Because the problem is a little bit more complex. She steeples her fingers. When you've gathered your evidence, I'll call a hearing. Yeah, let's begin. She nods. I will summon Arthur and Redai. Their fates and the names of their tribes depend on what you will reveal to us. Gals and Anamas. Gals and Anams. It's difficult to pronounce words sometimes. Bethel stands at the head of the hall, lit from behind by dozens of candles. She casts a long shadow across the floor. We've gathered to weigh the claims of Arthur and Redai in the matter of Fjorm's disappearance. To that end, we are honored by the presence of Gals and Anams, whose insight will help us render a verdict. Murmurs of astonishment echo from the front of the hut. We begin with Arthur's claim. He asserts that Fjorm lured him into a confrontation with Estelgar and that he slew the beast on his own. Fjorm, he says, exiled himself, fearing that knowledge of his actions would heap shame on the Keepers of the Stone. She holds up a tooth as long as her arm. As evidence, he brings a fang from the great Stelgar. On the other hand, Redai states that his brother was tricked and murdered by Arthur during the hunt. A hunter of Fjorm's renown would not have fallen the blood hunt but by treachery. A shadow flickers and dances in the candlelight as she looks at you. And now we turn to our Gulls and Anams. We ask only that you share your observations, that we may find closure for these two tribes. She lowers her head. What fate befell Fjorm? He's dead. What? Redai stares at you, his face contorted between surprise and anger. He turns to Arthur. How, you puny weakling, how? The Anamenthath whips her neck towards the tribesman. Do not forget your place. Redai's chest balloons, but he quickly lowers his chin in obedience. Arthur's eyes dart from side to side. The Anamenthath continues. It saddens us to know this truth, but we must still reveal it deeper. If this is so, how did the giant Stelgar die? Well, Fjorm killed it. Of course he did. Redai shakes his fist and looks to everyone in the hall. Arthur is just a feeble hunter from the twice-split arrows and a liar. Fur bristles along Berthel's arms. Silence! Her slitted pupils narrow as she regards you. And now we come to it. Claim the truth for the 6 tribes. Gals Alanams. Fjorm tricked Arthur and fought the giant Stelgar by himself. They killed each other in the fight. Arthur tried to cover Fjorm's shame, but lied about besting the creature. The words echo along the passage of the 6 to the solemn audience. Bethel nods. It is as you say. We thank you for sharing your truth with us. The Anamenthath turns to Arthur and Redai. Brothers of the tribes, let these wounds mend. Go in peace and contemplate the shame brought into our heart. Well, Rita is not gonna be pretty happy, huh? She turns back to you. A shame upon both tribes is not what I would have wanted, but we must learn to turn our faces to these hard truths if we are to survive the coming seasons. Your integrity is a boon to us. Please accept this with our thanks. Sieved in Autumn. Ooh, that's a one-handed sword, which is pretty nice. It allows me to tank a little bit better, but that's about it. But I mean, it looks pretty cool. But no. Have I killed... Oh, hey, I killed 5 enemies. I think this requirement is somehow broken. Because there's no way I actually let myself go below 40% health when killing these guys. Like, it's strange that these are the same number. Oh, maybe. Maybe it's something different. Maybe this is something like kill 20 enemies. No. Deal a killing blow to 20 enemies whose health is lower than 40%. Which basically means if I try to kill like an innocent woodland creature and kill it in one hit from 100% to 0, it's not gonna count this. That's my guess. Is that I have to kill something that is not like pushover. Oh, he left? Oh, wow, he left. Huh. Okay, let's actually go this way. It's gonna be a little bit quicker.